everybody, and welcome to Geeking Out at the Tower podcast. I'm your host, Andrew, and today I'm joined by...
Kevin.
Ali.
Seth.
Wendel.
Awesome. And today we're going to talk about some hockey movies, and more than likely, the Mighty Ducks Trilogy, because this past weekend, as of this recording, was the NHL All-Star Game.
I thought we were talking about Pokemon.
No!
I thought we said baseball.
Ugh, who watches that anymore?
Why did I watch Angel in the Outfield?
If they build it, they will come.
We should have watched The Big Green. Really?
What?
No one's seen that movie?
I don't think you have to tell me what the
Soccer movie, Steve Guttenberg, fat kid in goal. 90s soccer movie.
Come
I had to watch Little Giants. Seriously.
If you want to watch a soccer movie, you watch Shaolin Soccer.
I was just gonna say yes.
Yeah, I
Shaolin
forgot
soccer
about
was
that
amazing.
Shame on you.
Anyway, as you can tell, it's probably been a really slow news week that we're going all silly and whatnot.
No, it wasn't. Scientists have slowed down the speed of light.
I'm glad you had to insert that right in.
Yes, it is.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Isn't that old news anywhere?
I don't
It's
know.
not old news. They did it this week. Or last week.
Anyway, so, also for all of you guys who haven't already pirated and seen the interview, it is now officially on Netflix. This is a lot sooner than I thought it would have been on Netflix.
I'm not paying for it.
Well, technically now Sony has made its money and now Netflix is allowed to have it.
So, apparently.
That's how it works.
So, you can go watch it there. It's been out for a few days now. I'm probably going to check it out.
But we already seen the money shots. It doesn't really matter.
I haven't seen anything from the interview, honestly.
Oh, you didn't see the leaked
Nope,
ending?
nothing
Okay,
at
so I
all.
won't say anything.
I thought it was pretty funny, though.
Spoilers.
It reminded me of Pineapple Express, which I enjoyed.
I didn't enjoy Pineapple.
Yeah,
You did?
because you're not cool, bro.
No, I'm totally cool and I don't like that movie at
I
all.
don't think you're cool.
You don't like James Franco?
No,
you
no,
want
I
to get
said-
James Franco?
No, I didn't.
Why are you
because-
hating on James Franco, Wendell?
It's
You're
because
the
he
one that
squints.
seems...
Why are you dropping your
I like
phone on the table?
I like his brother more, actually. His brother's actually way more funnier than James Franco.
Way more funnier. It's just so
Way
bad.
more funnier.
Funny looking.
He's making fun of your grammar at that point, if you didn't realize.
What does it matter? What does it matter?
I
don't
know.
have a lovely accent like he does.
I know.
I can't sound all Spanish and sexy.
He doesn't sound
He's
like
never had that.
See, that's me making fun of
Didn't
him
you just
now.
have a conversation of him saying he's whiter than the rest of us?
No, I didn't say that. Ali did.
No.
he's also gayer than the rest of us.
I think you should tell everyone why you're wearing blush and lipstick and have earrings in.
Why did you just spit out? Why did you just spit out your water on the table?
Because he's that offended. After these messages, we'll be right back. Sorry, Podcast Nation. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Be back with you in a second.
Okay, you guys ready to continue this?
I think this is gold, Jerry. It's gold.
So, what do I instigate again? I'm trying to remember now.
I bring much needed one-liners to the show.
That was a
Wow, okay.
For yourself, clearly.
Everyone else is enjoying it.
This guy's dialing already is. I think you're the one that has all the blush now.
Okay, can we get back to the show?
Yes.
Yes, we
Awesome.
can.
It's probably a bit warm.
Alright, cool. Well, that was an awkward cut. So,
Don't cut it. It's good.
I was trying to segue because I was going to cut most of that laughing out.
Keep rolling.
In other news, Emma Watson has been cast to be Belle in the Disney's live-action version of Beauty and the Beast.
Boo.
Hey.
Oh.
As long as the beast is ugly, it'll be okay.
They should have kept with the French theme. Just saying.
I hope it's better than Maleficent. It was a man that changed her and made her evil.
All for love. Okay. Well, after that little, how would I put it,
Fiasco.
sporadic and insanely kooky news segment, join us in the next segment where we'll be geeking around.
That was the news segment?
Hey, this is Anthony Bowling, voices of such characters as Yuka in Fairy Tail, Ukyo in Samurai 7, and Alciel in The Devil is a Part-Timer, along with many, many more. And right now you are listening to Geeking Out at the Tower podcast.
And we're back, and this is the Geeking Around segment where we talk about things geeky or otherwise going around in the geekosphere. So, Wendell, what have you been up to?
So this past Sunday, I got to see the Royal Rumble with a few friends. Nay.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
So I don't know. It wasn't the best. It's always not the best, but it was fun. There was a lot of entertaining, some high spots here and there. There's a triple death match with John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins, and we were making jokes and saying like, "Hey, Brock Lesnar, what's your strategy for this match? I'm gonna do the German suplex, and when you're done doing that, what are you gonna do? Just continue sticking to that strategy for the whole match."
I don't get it.
Brock Lesnar doesn't have that many moves.
He only does one move.
I'm surprised that guy's still wrestling.
Yeah, he's still wrestling.
It's because McMahon likes big guys that don't do anything, because then they don't get hurt.
Yeah,
So
don't
then he
get
should
into-
just hire you.
Who are we kidding? Keith would get hurt.
The pre-Royal Rumble matches were pretty fun. There was like a tag team match. There was a New Day versus
It was biker gang versus biker gang. It didn't matter. All we care about
no, that was,
is Diva match. Who did they do the butt kiss?
No, they didn't. The Belgians didn't do it. One of the funnier matches was the Miz, Hollywood Miz, and Mizdow fighting. Who were they fighting? They were fighting the Uzos, the tag team champions. And so the gimmick with Mizdow is that he's like the Miz's understudy / stunt double kind of thing, and that was like hilarious thing going out throughout the whole match where you'd see the Miz getting hurt and he would mimic his hurt movement and stuff like that. So the Royal Rumble happened, and one of the surprise guests was
Rey Mysterio.
no, it was Bubba Ray actually. So like Andrew's rolling his eyes. It was Bubba Ray of 3D of the Dudley Boys, and so since he's from Philadelphia and ECW started around Philadelphia, so everyone was pretty happy to see him, and he did 2 of his staple moves in the match and got promptly kicked out of the ring. Another highlight was Kofi Kingston went in, and usually a thing that Kofi does is that whenever he's about to get thrown out for the first time, he does like some kind of crazy thing. So one year he did a handstand and like handstand his way back to the ring because the rule is that both of your feet have to touch the ground of the floor. And then so this year a character named Adam Rose came out with his party posse. Kofi Kingston gets thrown out onto the party posse and they carry him back into the ring, and then then Adam Rose gets thrown out, and then Kofi Kingston gets thrown out, and the winner for this year for the King of the Ring was Seth Rollins. So as he was winning, the whole crowd in Philadelphia started to boo. They started to boo, and they were really, really upset because
Don't lie, they started booing as soon as that guy got ejected.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, as soon as he was ejected, the booing started. It didn't matter who was winning.
So now, so the dust is settled. So Seth Reigns is going to go on to WrestleMania to fight Brock Lesnar for the title. One of the things that came out of this was there was a big hashtag on Twitter trending called
Cancel WWE.
Yeah, hashtag cancel WWE Network, because everyone was super mad and they don't want to see the title card match for WrestleMania now. And but I was with friends, we're all cracking jokes about old wrestling stories and other wrestlers talking about their experiences and the crazy stuff that they had to talk about. So that was pretty fun for that. And another thing I was geeking out about was the last season of Louie, so Louis C.K.'s show. So it's on his 4th season, and I started watching that recently, and it's really good. It's really good. It was like 2-3 scenes with like women, like I was like, wow, this is like really powerful performances and stuff, and feeling very sympathetic towards them. And like his show is always pretty good, makes you think, makes you laugh, and he always gets in these like crazy situations.
But you know what Louie can't do?
What?
Make the dead fall asleep like you can.
Thank you.
Wow, that was.
I was gonna say grow his hair, but still.
You're just jelly.
That was some weak sauce getting
welcome.
there.
Tell some jokes, Seb.
That's not about
Tell some jokes. Tell some jokes.
Put the dead to sleep, bro. Just say.
So you're saying you're dead?
Yeah.
Ooh, good for you.
Dead inside.
What else is new?
Well, I mean, you might be dead inside, but on the outside, you look pretty fabulous.
On the outside, he's got these amazing earrings. Where are they from? Chanel?
So, Kevin, what have you been up to?
There were 2 for 1.
Normally, men get studs, not hoop earrings.
And where
with
did you
little
get the
balls
MAC
on them.
eyeliner?
I'm glad that
Obviously-
you was a MAC eyeliner too. That
At the Mac store.
So, Kevin, what have you been up to?
Eating.
Are you gonna let him talk to you like that?
I can't wait to shit all over Seb's crap.
So, Kevin, what have you been up to?
I've been watching Archer. It started again. I think there are 3 episodes in. I'm glad they're kind of back on the whole spy game and not just the whole like Vice thing. Because like some of it was fun, but then it got really kind of going too far. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Some parts just didn't feel like it worked real well. But I like how they like right episode 1 they just shit on was it Mallory?
Oh,
Well, spoilers, man, spoilers.
Have you not seen it yet?
I haven't seen anything.
It's so good.
What else?
so what else happened in Archer, Kevin?
Doesn't matter. Go to the next person. We're done with me.
All right, cool. Ollie, what have you been geeking out about?
So I got a new PC, and the first game I downloaded was Far Cry 4.
On Minecraft?
Not Minecraft, Far Cry 4, because it came with my video card, like a free game or whatever.
Oh, wow, you got a free game with your video card, sweet.
So I downloaded Far Cry 4. I played Far Cry 3. I think everyone played Just Cause 2. You know, it's like open world
Yeah, who hasn't?
FPS type thing. So Far Cry 4 is the same type of deal, but it suffers from that. You know, when the world is just too big and there's too many things to do.
Oh, like the GTA 5?
Yeah, so you're like not doing any missions, you're just goofing around and just doing random stuff. So you're just doing side quests and side missions, and then it's like 10 hours later and you're still like 10% in the game because you haven't done like the first campaign mission yet. Yeah, that's basically me.
So Just Cause 2.
Yeah, like I'm terrible with open game world. It's fun, and the game looks beautiful. I'm playing on Ultra, and so there's just too much stuff to do, and I get distracted very
You
easily.
need to play Skyrim.
I need to not do that. I successfully avoided all of the Elder Scrolls type games.
You should go back to WoW. Very simple. Very
No,
easy.
please don't.
No, you go to play Skyrim and then you put on the Macho Man Dragon mod. Where all the dragons are Macho Man.
Too soon. But yeah, that's I'm playing Far Cry 4. I'm enjoying it. A bit repetitive, but yeah, I think it was a good game to test out my new PC.
Oh, you didn't even get to like the jug hallucination part yet.
What do you mean?
You'll see.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did some of those missions. Yeah, actually.
So that must look crazy on your
It's
computer.
just weird, dude. I was like, what is happening?
Drugs, which are good, which are bad. Drugs.
Ask your mom or ask your dad. See, drugs that were actually like that, like they showed portrayed in that game, everybody would be doing them. Don't do drugs, kids. They're bad. Stay in school.
All
Or
right.
don't, whatever.
Just ask your mom and ask your dad.
So I wasn't here last week, but I went to the Fate Forge pre-release, and I was like, I love Magic trading card game. It's a new set, a lot of fun. And then I downloaded the TCG Humble Bundle package this week, which is all card games. So it came with like Dominion, some Soul Forge packs, Magic 2015, and I tried a bunch of them out. Magic 2015 is a shit game. Don't ever spend money on it. So you all know. And then I played some more Magic on Friday, and it was amazing because I love Magic, and you should all play Magic. Play Magic with me.
How was
please.
Dominion?
I like
Magical.
the board game when playing with people. I didn't really like the website.
It didn't work as
It
well.
was online. I quickly gave up. I really didn't like just the characters just look so bad that I was like, I don't even care if it's not even part of the game. You just having that stupid face on the front was like, no. Yeah, that was my pretty much geeking. I have a friend visiting from town, so
So why are you not hanging out with your friend? Why are you here?
because
Yeah.
she's playing Magic in the South Shore, and I was like,
Well,
no,
you
too
love
far.
Magic. Why aren't you playing Magic? with your
Because
friends
I
on
like you
shore?
guys too. Okay.
That sounds like a lie.
Very insincere.
But it did sound very insincere.
Well, I like some of you people.
Was this?
Okay, there we go.
There's the honesty we're waiting for.
Well, new season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia started 2 weeks ago. So good. And right back to like pushing the limits of comedy. It's so, like everybody should watch it.
Oh, apparently in episode 4 or 5, it's gonna be like one of the like best episodes.
Where did it end in season 9?
No spoilers though.
Was it the Thanksgiving episode?
What? Or was it the episode where like each one thinks like what they would do in like the situation if they're getting robbed?
It was
and,
one of
and,
those-
and Mike, okay, like in his version, okay, he dies and goes into heaven. And it's like the gayest version of heaven you've ever seen. Like
Is
everybody's built and like oily.
Is that
So
what
is
you're
God.
trying to model now?
Ooh.
I'm not built.
No, I actually
oily.
think it was the Thanksgiving like episode.
Where they invite everyone to apologize?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah.
That's the last one I remember watching.
Yeah.
The first episode's so good. They're like in a plane, and they're like just drinking beers all the entire trip.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I started some of that episode. I didn't get a chance to finish it before I came, but here,
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I watched the latest DC animated movie, Throne of Atlantis. Throne for Atlantis. Atlantis. I can't say it. Throne
Throne of-
for Atlantis.
Yeah, Throne of Atlantis.
Throne of Atlantis.
If I'm not mistaken.
And it was bleeping garbage.
Why?
Like I don't know, man.
What was wrong? No, what was wrong with
It's
it?
like, I don't know. I felt that Aquaman, like everything.
Did it
that-
leave a salty
Everything that the new 52 did for Aquaman made him super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like, F that, we're gonna make him lame again.
Seb, Did it leave a salty taste in your mouth like the dick you had last night?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So yeah, every good part of like what they did for Aquaman and the New 52, they just like threw it out the window and just like, oh, garbage. Sorry.
Did it have dynamic hair movement?
Not really. It's like I found that the Aquaman storyline.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Actually, you could end it there.
To like the throne of Atlantis was really well done in the comics. It just felt like they didn't want to make Aquaman
Cool.
serious or cool.
Okay.
So.
Interesting. Kevin, you get a chance to say what you wanted to say this time for realsies, but not about Archer.
And no spoilers.
So just go into the other topic you had.
The only other thing that I did was I restarted Omega Ruby. I had made a bunch of bred Pokemon, and I wanted to, instead of just breeding them and be like, yay, great ones, and never use them, I grabbed a bunch of them, and I'm using that as my main team. So I've got like Scyther, Snorlax. I've got Trico because it was the only one that I hadn't tried from the starters, and he's literally the weakest. He gets destroyed immediately while the other guys are surviving. But I'm having more fun this way. I think in like one sitting I was able to get to already like 5 gyms, but that's because I know where to go now as opposed to being like, where am I going?
I was gonna say it's probably because you like to sit a lot.
Someone called the fire department.
I'm sorry.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Alright, so this past weekend, as of this recording, I went to a convention in Gatineau, Quebec called G-Anime. I had a table where I sold my pixel art. Actually, I got lucky, I got a corner table, so that was pretty sweet.
Dang, how'd you swing that?
I don't know what I did. Apparently, I just got lucky.
Amazing.
Okay. It was pretty fun. I got interviewed for a steampunk show. I can't remember the name of it right. It's like Archimedes something. I have to look it up. I'll probably put a link to it in
it's Funbox.
into the blog. But so it was really fun. I broke even, so at least it wasn't a total wash, and I got to see some good improv. Also, the Nostalgia Critic was there, Doug Walker. He also wanted to do the improv. He did improv with the 404s, which are a Canadian anime improv group, and so it was pretty funny what they did. I had a decent amount of fun there. In between, there was not much to do, but otherwise fun.
Legitimate question.
Yeah, sure.
Is the G in G anime or Gatineau?
Probably,
Okay.
but
I thought we were going somewhere else with that.
So it wasn't for greatness.
Yeah.
That's kind of disappointing.
So I made.
And not good either.
So I made bead art. It was fun. I sold a bunch of it.
Like anal bead art.
Yes, anal bead art. Other than that, while I was preparing for the convention, I was marathoning the 2nd and 3rd seasons of The Republic of Doyle, which is a Canadian detective fiction taking place in St. John's,
Newfoundland.
St. John's, Newfoundland.
So you don't understand anything.
No, their accents are pretty not intelligible. You can understand their accents.
Yeah.
Is Republic of Doyle with the guy from Sue Thomas FBI?
No.
I don't think so.
No, you're thinking of Murdoch Mysteries.
Okay, I knew you knew what I was talking about.
Apparently, there's a crossover in like season 4, season 5 of Republic of Doyle where it's a descendant who's following a case there.
God, Thomas FBI.
There are some like
was a great
notable
show.
people who do appear in the show in its first, second, and third season. Victor Garber from like Alias and a whole bunch of other things appears. I had no clue he was Canadian until I saw him on this show.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I completely didn't know.
Another
Also,
closeted Canadian.
oh my God, Russell Crowe shows up in the season premiere of season 3.
Wait, he's Canadian too?
No.
But you just said people on the show are Canadian. I'm confused, Andrew.
Wow.
No, you weren't listening at all.
Yeah. No, but I looked it up because usually what happens is.
Was he drunk?
No, that was a guest starring role. Anyway.
Did he
beat up
scream at
anybody?
people?
He did actually play drunk for a little
Did
bit.
he throw a telephone?
No, but you did have beer in his hand at some point.
Did he tell a story about how he didn't have a tooth and then the director made him get a tooth?
Okay. Anyway, so it's a fun little show.
Are you entertained?
If you're like into mystery fiction, it's just something nice and serialized. Not super serialized, but nice and one and done, but the character stuff is still pretty interesting. And overall, it's a Canadian show, so the budget isn't all there, but they're
It's taking place
trying.
in St. John's.
And it takes place in St. John's, and it has a very
Hope you like
call it?
coastlines.
Actually, not so many on that. Lots of hills, though. Lots of hills, apparently.
Was he the master or the commander?
Russell Crowe?
Boo!
In Gladiators?
No, in master. God damn it!
Anything else you guys would like to bring up?
You didn't watch enough.
Please no.
Okay, well, that was a very disjointed and very loopy
Loop is definitely.
geeking around segment.
Oh boy.
I am the law.
hopefully we'll be able to stay more on topic for the main topic.
Don't count on it.
So
The way this is going.
So join us in the next segment where we'll be discussing the Mighty Ducks Trilogy and potentially Goon.
Hockey stuff.
This is Austin St. John. I play Jason, the original Red Ranger from television's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Right now, I am geeking out at the Tower Podcast. Check it out, man. It's Morphin time.
And we're back, and this is our main topic where we're going to discuss a few hockey movies, more specifically the Mighty Ducks Trilogy in honor, quote unquote, of the All-Star game that happened just the past weekend of this recording, where the final score was 17-12.
Not that it matters.
Exactly.
It's a circle thing.
Circle jerk of life?
Of hockey.
I guess so. So we're going to just get right on into it. You okay over there, Ellie?
Yes.
Awesome. So the first movie we'll be talking about is the first Mighty Ducks movie called The Mighty Ducks. And in this movie, there's a douchebag lawyer,
Gordon Bombay.
Wow, I forgot the name.
Played by Emilio Estevez.
Played by Emilio. And he basically decides that it's fun to drink and drive. And so the judge, who he basically emasculated in the previous scene.
It's not his fault, man. He got like shit on when he thought, I just did a big ass win.
Yeah.
But I'll let you do your synopsis.
Okay, cool. So after drinking and driving, he gets sentenced to 500 hours of community service of coaching a Pee-wee hockey team. And so he meets the kids. They all suck, quote unquote, at the beginning because, it's a sports movie.
Montage later.
Then there's a brief montage of them sucking. And then they get into his limo for randomness and craziness happens.
And he has a limo because he's a lawyer.
He's not allowed to drive anymore.
Oh,
yeah. And so they give him a limo as part of the whole thing, which later becomes a van when he becomes more interested. Anyway, so they go on to their first game. He treats them like garbage.
Because they are.
Because they're bad. But he acts like his old coach. And then he gets advice from the skate shark Hans, which I feel like if this movie was remade today would just be played by
Morgan Freeman.
Because it's the type of advice he's
the magical, mystical Scandinavian guy?
No,
German.
Oh, German.
German.
Excuse me.
Magical, mystical
German.
It was a phase.
Yeah, so after this, he basically changes his whole
Way of coaching.
And so another montage later of him trying to teach the kids and them failing at it and then slowly getting it.
Like a real montage.
Yeah, he recruits the best player, one of the best players from the rival team.
The Hawks.
Because of semantics.
Yes.
No, zoning laws, bro.
Zoning laws, but it's semantically, he just basically,
Well, he used his lawyerness to his advantage.
And then they recruit Fulton Reed, who is just the biggest sixth grader. or
he failed, no?
Yeah.
Is he being held
No,
back?
I think he was just a large sixth grader.
Exactly.
Giant growth spurt.
Yeah, he just had a growth spurt early.
Yeah, puberty hit him like a ton of bricks.
Who has, did they give a name to his shot? Or just
it's just a slap shot.
just a quick slap shot that everyone dodges out of the way of whenever it comes.
Because he'll die.
Also, he can't skate at first, so they
and
have to
only
help him with
one
that.
shot out of 5 makes the net.
Yes, that's the thing, yes.
So he's like the Babe Ruth of hockey.
And so then there's a montage of them, not a montage, but they play a few games. They're getting good at it. They play against, is it because they play against a rival team? No, it's after
they played the Hawks the first time and got destroyed.
Yeah,
Right.
After he gets the bank from the other team, he says some sarcastic comments which the kids overhear and take out of context. They basically revolt against him.
Yeah. It's Act 3.
Yeah, it's community on the bounty.
Yes. And then in class they have an argument. They all get detention. He realizes.
But they quack together.
Yes, they all quack, and that's how they end up with detention.
So all these kids are in the same class.
That's one of my comments, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
They band back together as a team, and they get into the playoffs. Montage. They make it to the finals. Craziness happens, and it's a Disney movie. They win
Yo, no way! Awesome.
in shutouts.
Oh yeah.
So
Charlie does a triple deke.
Yeah. So my main comment, I remember writing this down after I thought about the movie just a bit more briefly, is that what is it? Mighty Ducks 1 is an adult vicariously living through a child.
Yep. And that's what most kids' movies about
And
sports
trying to
are
bang
about.
the child's mom.
Hey, the child's like, I want you to be my dad.
Yeah.
No, it's so awkward because the kid's like immediately like, man, you're awesome.
You want to be my dad?
Yeah, it's like, you know who's awesome too? My mom. Want to come and stay for dinner?
You know what would be awesome if you guys hooked up? What's up?
Yeah. And also another thing, that kid is super attached. At one point, I wrote this line down. You made us. Now you're stuck with us. After he debates quitting the team after what happened.
You think it's like a social message, like, yo, dads, don't give up on your kids?
Yeah.
Yo, fake dads, don't give up on your fake kids.
And I like how, also, okay, there's like only two parents, like, that always show up, like the black parent.
Oh, obviously.
And then Charlie's mom.
Yeah.
And, you know, they need to have the token black
Yo,
parents.
Charlie's mom has got it going on.
Yeah, she's like 90s MILF material, I guess you could say. Not super MILF, but you know, like 90s, early 90s.
Like, you would see why Gordon Bombay, a rich lawyer, would go after her.
Who's apparently like 28.
Well, let's
Really? He's that young? He's not even 30 yet?
Yes, because in D2 they tell him that he says he's 29
Yeah,
in D2.
he's 29 in D2, which is a year after.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I'm like, wow, you do not look anything like you're in the 20s.
Well, he was probably in high school.
Emilio!
So, just a few thoughts on the movie that I had.
Regulars.
It's so 90s.
Yes.
It's like it's an early 90s sports movie. And it's so 90s.
But it's a good kind of 90s.
Well, I just want to say something real quick that, like you say, it's
Why
really
can't you just let Andrew talk?
because it's a point. But no, it's just that, like, you know, it's very 90s. But like when I think about back at that movie, it feels like more like, I guess, late 80s. Like the color palette isn't crazy neon, and like the contrast between that movie and D2.
It's more the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like
it seems more
rollerblades.
Yeah.
Rollerblades. Every time I see rollerblades, I think 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like several rollerblading
It's
scenes.
like rollerblades, sunny, but in this one it's like dark. It's always inside the arena. It's always like, you know, it's just a very darker color palette. That's
I
all.
guess so. Keith, do you have any thoughts?
I think it was non-believable. No lawyer would give up his rich job for these kids and put everything at risk. Even if he was ordered to.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, he did. In the end, he still did. He did give up because he wanted to keep Banks on the team, and that was like the ultimatum.
Well, no, it's because he followed through his principles. He's like, you know what? Fair play. You tried to teach me that. I'm putting it into practice.
And that's what's hilarious is his boss. The whole point of this whole thing was his boss being like, you need to be a better person. You can't be this hotshot lawyer anymore. And he turns out to become like an actual good person. And then his lawyer's like, well, he's my friend, so you either do this or you're fired. And it's like, well, f*** you.
Let's be honest, okay? Mr. Quacksworth is a quack.
But
Quack, quack, Mr. Quacksworth.
So one thing I would note is that there's, when I say so 90s as well, is that there's so many like pranks that the kids are pulling.
So yeah, right off the bat, there's like the poop purse prank or something like that.
The poop purse. Oh my god. What else was it? I can't remember. And the bullies are so 90s as well. Like the three kids from the rival hockey team, and they're like just circling the kids on the rollerblades, and then they get picked up by like the big kid and they get thrown into the trash.
But they get thrown on. They get thrown on one of the other kids that was bullied first, you know.
Yeah.
So like Reed doesn't give a shit. He's just like, you three, go on top of this guy.
No cushion your fall.
And at some point,
Because garbage kids deserve to be in the trash.
and there's that point where he cons his boss into giving him the money. Then we get another montage with them shopping.
Shopping and getting like their upgraded gear, so
Yeah.
now they're all powered up.
And just make him a whole mess of the shop.
I like the part where he's like trying to teach them with the eggs, and then at one point he's like trying to teach the goal. He's like, "Do you trust me?" And he just ties him to the nets.
Oh, yeah, because he's afraid of the puck.
Yeah.
But he has so much gear on him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yes, I remember now that scene. I want to live to my bar mitzvah.
Goldberg.
Oh yeah, and then when they're trying to teach the Slapshot kid Fulton how to skate, they knock a lady into the fountain.
No.
And I just go like, oh man, poor lady, just like drenched.
But
Just
going back
drenched.
to Goldberg getting tied to the net, like that was also spoofed in The Simpsons when they did their like hockey episode.
Yeah.
And like Milhouse got knocked out. He was the goalie and he gets knocked out, and then they just tie him to the to the net, and then like the puck like slowly slides up to him. And he's just trying to blow the puck away, and then he's like, "Yes, Milhouse, keep blowing." And then he just passes him underneath the line and just gives up. And then Apu was super pissed. He's like, "You call that blowing? Defense! You call that blowing?" Oh, it's such a good episode. But that's how influential the Mighty
I was gonna
Ducks
say,
were.
the product placement in this, not this super overt. Like, so there's this, how would I put it?
Don't they have like a
Motif
Coca-Cola
that they
fight?
do. Well, there's that. There's the fact that between like after a hockey game, there's like a newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
And in one of them is just Coca-Cola and Giant. It's like there's like apparently a newspaper that's reporting on, or there's a national newsletter apparently reporting on Pee Wee hockey in Minnesota.
Well, they're in Minnesota. Not much happens, don't you know?
Hockey and football.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hockey, football, and Prince. That's what's going on in Minnesota.
So one thing I also want to mention is the racism in this is so casual. God,
There's two black kids on the team, right?
We don't have this
They're both
problem
brothers.
here.
No, but they're the ones just calling people like
Actually,
it's
yes.
essentially the equivalent of like honkies, but the kid version of that.
Oh.
Like cake eater.
Really?
Yeah, they
I
say
didn't
that
catch that at all.
like 2 of the 3 movies are going like "Hey, cake eater whenever
Yeah,
they're
well,
talking to the white kids.
Well, no, because they're calling Banks a cake eater because he's like rich.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're the proletariat and they're rebelling.
That's it.
Let them eat cake.
He's Marie Antoinette.
No, that's it. It's towards Banks more than
Oh,
anyone
oh,
because
because
Banks
he's
is rich.
So there's class war going
It
on.
is.
in this
It is very much a class.
Yo, man, I feel bad for that Banks kid. He got ripped out from his teams, has to hang out with a bunch of losers.
Yeah, but
No,
Play
he doesn't,
coach.
he doesn't have to hang out with a bunch of losers. He hang out with a bunch of poor kids.
Well, that's the thing
Ew.
about it is that.
Aren't they the same thing?
Eat your cake,
really?
But what made him not so.
In the 90s?
To be fair, what made him not a horrible person is that he just wanted to play hockey.
Yeah.
He actually didn't care who he played hockey for. He just wanted to play hockey.
His father.
And you
was-
can see it in his eyes when his dad's like, so he'll just not play hockey, and he's just like, he's
like,
like,
yo,
excuse
wait.
me.
That's
Please.
true. Apparently,
That's why he hurt himself trying to turn his hand.
That's the second.
that's the
third
other
movie.
thing. Oh, that's-
Second movie.
Oh, yeah, sorry, second movie, yeah.
Apparently, it's a Minnesota thing too. Cake eater. It's like it
Oh.
refers to
Oh.
rich people from a certain area.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
there we go. Learning something
My
every
bad.
day.
Class divisions.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
this is classist, my bad.
Yeah, because definitely the Ducks were definitely like working class, and then everyone on the hospital
District
like,
5.
And that's it. And
Higher
Banks
up, yeah.
is rich, and so let
You
them
know,
eat cake.
you could have just told me Banks was rich. You didn't have to name him Banks. Make it stupid obvious.
So also, like we mentioned earlier, I love how they're all in the same science class, like the entire team.
Are they all in elementary or high
Well, look,
school?
They're
The
middle
thing is-
school,
the thing is, a lot
early
of-
middle school, or
A lot of public schools have like zoning regulations, okay, for like who can attend. So it makes sense that.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, for
that
the
all
same-
those kids from that class decide to play hockey. Get out of here.
I'm just saying, maybe they're all like the same kind of stupid, and they're like in the
all the
kids.
remedial science class is what you're saying?
Yes.
Or what is it? Tammy and Tommy, the twins, who with the short kid and his
And
sister.
it's Tammy and Sammy, no?
No, it's Tammy and
No,
Tommy.
they're not twins.
No, they're just
Well,
brother
they're in the
and sister.
same class.
They're not twins though.
Apparently, they're in the same.
Well, maybe the kid is a genius.
And so, like, it's like, mom's not gonna like that we're gonna play hockey. Well, we get to do figure skating, so you have to do what I want to do. It's like, I don't know anything about hockey. Then she knocks him to the ground.
he
And he's like,
checks him down.
you know more than you think. And then the science teacher goes, my atoms, when they start throwing him around, which leads to the big quacking scene when the principal comes in.
Oh god.
Well, yeah, because Bombay told them, you know, it's the ducks, okay?
Ducks
Well, why do you say
together,
ducks
trying
don't
to
fight? Because they know when you mess with one duck, you mess with all of them.
And so, yeah, when he comes in, they're all in detention.
Yeah.
He's like, I know where every single one of them is. I will not quack at the principal.
Oh yeah.
Then there's the whole dodging out of the puck's way whenever the kid takes a slap shot.
But
Everyone just runs.
doesn't like one of the shots actually just go through the net and like there's a little
Yeah,
smoke?
fireball or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cartoony.
I must have missed that one, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. You guys, any other thoughts you guys want to bring up?
I'm pretty
The
sure
fa-
we went through the entire movie.
No,
No, we really haven't yet. We're only
the father of Banks is like he's completely like terrible right until the end. He's still wearing the Hawks jersey, even though like his
Yeah, but he's
son's
rooting
like-
for his kid.
He's not rooting for his kid. His-
Yeah, when Banks is about to go and score, he's like, yes, yes!
yeah, but he's still wearing the coat of
Hey,
the
man,
Hawks.
yeah,
It's
'cause-
so bad.
paid for that
Once a
jersey.
hawk, always a hawk.
So, was that in the first movie? Is it? It's not the Dallas Stars, is it?
Oh no,
no,
it's
when
it's
I think
before the start-
It's before the
Nor-
expansion, and they go.
They moved.
go to
right?
Dallas. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's the Minnesota
Stars.
North Stars. Yeah, North Stars.
Yeah, because there's that random just like hockey, like official NHL hockey game in the middle
Yeah.
of it all that they go to, and where the other Hawks just go up to Banks and just like you're dead kind of thing. And this is when the one of the black kids who was basically hating on Banks for not being a duck,
Yeah.
starts to
For being a
realize,
cake eater.
Yeah.
starts to like soften up on the guy because
He's in the same boat with
You
you.
know,
Yeah,
we
they're all
might
in
be
this
from
together.
different classes, but we both love hockey.
Then I wrote 90s flirting, where
Lord.
all it is hey, kiss. It's basically that. They say a few sentences and then they're fully like making out like crazy.
Well, it wasn't so bad. Wait,
Well, you know, if you were a
I'm
single
talking
mother,
about the mom and
if you were a single mother, okay, and like the only income was from like a diner, and Emilio Estevez, hotshot like lawyer, comes in, and he's like, "Hey, it's done, you know, right?"
but no, that like she does explain right off the bat, like, no, look, you have to understand, I have a kid. My responsibilities to the kid.
Oh, I don't care about your kid. I want you.
It's still
Any
a
kid,
romance, but like
It's
romance
weird-
is shortened because it is a kids movie. But yeah,
But it was really like I still liked the fact that the mother was like, no, I have to think of the kid. The kid, like, you cannot break this kid's heart. So like I was like, okay, at least the mother has a bit of an
Foresight.
like a good idea, like realizing what's going on. But like you do realize your kid is like constantly telling like, yeah, you should bang my mother, and it's like, oh jeez, it's
And you know,
so
this
bad.
is all. This is what we see Charlie do to like Gordon. What about the other side? We don't see like his like Charlie's like, "Yo, mom, you really should bang my coach."
I want the C. It's the only way I can get it.
and then there's
He's a real good guy. Look,
And
he has
so-
money.
playoff montage where they just basically beat the few teams that you see throughout the movie.
Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals, which they tied, I think.
The first time.
The first time they actually got into like their full gear and everything.
Yeah.
And then they play off in the finals against the Hawks with the
Right.
douchebag
like,
coach.
they're down.
Yeah.
They get back up.
Well, you know,
They got
Banks
that flying
towards the
V.
turning. Yeah. Well, hold on. I'll get to that. So they basically take out Banks and knock him out more or less and give him a
Although he
concussion.
got a goal,
But he got the goal, yeah. And then he's like, "What did you do?" Like one of the kids is like, "Oh shucks, we went too far. What did you do?" And this kid's so
I did
evil.
my
Oh,
job.
it's my job.
It's so
I'm like,
bad.
Wow, that kid is brainwashed. Because
Yeah.
that,
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Karate Kid. Sweep the leg! Sweep the leg, Johnny!
yeah, but they're the teenagers, so they're more likely that a teenager would say something to that. But like when a 10 or a 12-year-old kind of says something to that effect,
My job.
it's like you're either brainwashed or like, yeah, it's crazy.
Or you're evil.
He's definitely Slytherin.
Obviously, it's an evil team. They're all wearing black.
No, but like that kid who goes, "What did you do?" That's a natural reaction, and the
Yeah.
other kid's just like, "My
Well, yeah, because
job."
Banks was his friend.
Yeah, and then run away from puck into goalie into goal. Does that mean anything to anybody?
No, I don't know. Run away from
Oh no, there
I
is.
think you might have been drunk when you wrote that down.
No, I was tired, but yeah.
There was a scene at one point where like he's like, no, wait, don't get in, because he's still afraid of the puck, and then everybody just slams into the net with the Ducks goalie.
And then we get
Yeah.
so at this point the Ducks are down, and so that goal that Banks made is the turning point. So they start making a lot of silly goals, like the spinning Tammy goal,
Oh, yeah.
where she starts just doing the spinning axle.
Yeah, and
And
then
then-
mesmerized. The goal is like, no.
Everyone's mesmerized.
Oh my God,
They
it's so
pass
beautiful.
In figure skaters, by the way, because they were figure skaters. They're recruited for figure skating. And then there's the flying V goal,
Yeah.
where the flying V
Makes no sense.
Last second penalty
It
shot.
makes perfect sense in Disney movie logic.
Yeah.
Birds fly together.
Yeah.
In a V form.
And then there's my
They
comment.
pass the puck back to one guy, and they pass it back to the person in front, and then they
Wouldn't
shoot
that
it
be a
in.
pass forward, not a pass back?
Well, they pass it back.
Essentially, they're passing
Would it
with
be icing?
No,
If they don't do it, if they don't do it right, would it be
No,
icing?
no, it would-
can't,
It'd be
you can't do it.
offside.
It'd be offside.
Icing
but-
is when you launch it from
It's
one side
before
to the
it's
other.
before the blue
Well,
line
that's
though.
it. He needs to have the puck in front when they go through the blue line.
Yeah.
Then he can pass it afterwards.
And then they pass it
as long as everyone is
Yeah.
across.
So
the
that
board.
is basically the flaw of
No.
the flying V, is if they just stand right in front of him at the line.
Yeah, if they mess up, okay, it's
Which,
Yeah,
it's
which is
offside.
proven in the next two
Which
movies.
we're
that
getting
it's
to.
an-
You're trying to jump ahead too quick,
And
Keith.
also-
Relax.
Oh, this
And
is
also
the
the problem
longest
with-
brief description I've ever heard.
And also the problem with the flying.
1 second. We're in the middle of discussing the movie.
Yeah, we already did.
We already did the description.
You're ignoring everything.
Yeah, okay.
I was
What
gonna
it?
say just the big problem with the flying V is that you're removing your defensemen from your defense line to bring them to like attack with you.
Well, no, like your
PK
your
goes
D,
forward all the time.
your D has to like
No,
the
but like
defense
at least one of them. No, it's not both.
Most a lot of times, like everybody gets in front.
Yeah, but you don't really see everybody.
Yeah, you do.
Well, no,
When
but-
you're down and you gotta
Like, you-
score, they pull the
this
goal
was-
and
We
six
don't see
people
all
fly forward.
like all
This-
the players
this
into
was-
like front of the net. Like
No, this is
It's called power play.
Yeah.
We gotta remember, this
Yeah,
is
but
like
it's when
Pee-wee
the other
hockey.
people have
This is
one
Pee-wee
missing.
hockey.
Yeah.
They're actually playing way more.
They don't know any rules.
Like sophisticated than most Pee-wee hockey.
I don't know.
I've
The
seen.
flying V is pretty sophisticated.
Just in general, but yeah. No,
And they're not tiny little kids like, oh, look how cute
for
that is.
12-year-olds, yeah.
Hey, they love hockey. I'm pretty sure they love the rules too.
And this is, so we're towards the end of the movie now. This is a callback. Bombay had got told by one of the Minnesota North Stars that he could get him trying out for the minors.
Yeah, I can get you in the minors, the
So
AHL,
he
bro.
goes to try out for the minors because
Well,
Because he's following his dream.
Yeah, he's following his dream. He doesn't have a job.
he's a
he needs
lawyer.
money.
Yeah, but he's
but
No way,
Minnesota's
Mr. Quack would give him the worst references ever. What have you been doing?
disillusioned. He's disillusioned with his
Nah,
job.
I get it. And then I noticed this. It's like straight up sequel bait, and it's like, see you next season. Right
Don't
to the
forget
camera.
to practice under off season, guys.
Which you find out in the movie that they didn't. So any other thoughts you guys want to give out on the movie?
The triple deke is stupid. Well, the whole
flying V is stupid.
The whole spinning thing, before he touches the puck.
Well, the thing is that like a lot of sports movies, you always need that like special move. But usually when you think about it in the context of the actual sport, it's like you're just doing this thing. It's not even that special.
No, I mean the actual move is alright.
But
then he spins.
But like
then he just spins around.
No, like the spinning.
As if he's playing like a tabletop hockey game.
No. You know when like right before he touches the puck, he skates around the puck.
Yeah, he wants to build momentum.
Momentum, my ass.
That's what you do on a frictionless surface. You build momentum.
Any other thoughts?
The coach of the Hawks is an ass for no reason other than being an
The
ass.
coach of the Hawks like physically resembles my uncle.
Your uncle was on Lois.
Everyone on the Hawks.
I was just gonna say.
Superman.
Everyone on the Hawks' team was an ass. So why wouldn't the coach?
No,
be an
him
ass?
specifically.
Well, you can see that it trickles down from the coach to the
Well, yeah, because
players.
Bombay became an ass because his coach made him believe winning is the only thing that
You know,
matters.
it's just like in Karate Kid. If you have an evil coach, you're going to be an evil person.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mr.
Karate
Miyagi,
Kid
then
on
you're
ice.
It's way too serious for someone who's not getting paid to do this.
Exactly.
He had to
You're
take
like
the part.
you're like a volunteer.
And he's not even a volunteer. He's obligated by law.
They basically have been winning since like for 40 years, except for like the 1 year Bombay missed that goal.
I really wish they could take that one down, Bombay. Let me rub it in your face, Bombay.
Don't you?
You're a failure, Bombay.
I never knew anyone who liked hockey as much as you, but then you changed Bombay.
You
Hey,
Remember
now.
You don't just mess up for yourself, you mess up for everyone.
Yeah, that coach, like, when you listen, okay, so the opening monologue is, you gotta get this goal, because if you don't, you're screwing it up for the team. You're just like,
You're not just
wow.
gonna support yourself, you're gonna support everyone.
That's not the kind of thing you should be telling
he
your kid.
says that, but then the Ducks fly together. So if one loses, they all lose. So it's the same thing.
You're skipping
It's just
things
different.
around.
It's just different.
We're talking about the Hawks and
Yeah,
everything.
but
No, but the
The difference is that they're having fun. The Hawks, okay, are
The
like,
difference is also that he's telling him, it's like, yeah, we win or lose together as long as we have fun. We tried. It doesn't matter if we win or
as long as
lose.
they have fun, they're the real.
The coach is like, you
side.
lose,
Yeah,
letting us all
that's
down.
some 2090s bullshit.
But they
Winning counts.
2090s? Are we
Well,
going to are we like
So
seeing a movie
2000s
from
are
the future?
first, then it became the 90s. We're in the 90s right
Because
now.
now it's all about participation and not hurting
1914 right
kids
now,
things.
people. So
And this was the
key.
start of it. This is why none of our kids have any goals anymore.
I got disqualified
God,
from
where
the
did you
race,
go with
Dad,
this?
but I got
Aren't you gay?
a participation trophy.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks said it was okay to lose. It's
not.
all about having fun. And
What's
Mighty
a
Ducks
loser?
is spawned
Always a loser.
bunch of loser kids that can't even think for
I am
themselves.
so lost right now. I don't even know.
Anything.
Are you not paying attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No, I'm not. It's very
You're just
garbled.
making up nonsense.
It's true.
You said 2000 to the 90s. Dear God, man.
Anyway,
It's 100 years in the
okay.
future.
Final thoughts
Hockey has come
before we
full
give our
circle.
final ratings on the first movie.
See it.
You have to watch it.
The thing is, it aged pretty well, you know?
As
Overall, I agree.
campy, as goofy, as mindless as it is a good little fun movie.
Slap shots for kids. Go see it.
Cool. All right, so we'll give you a rating
7 out of 10. Slap shots into the.
at the net.
Yeah.
Keith.
4 Goldberg saves out of 5.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 quacks out of 5.
Devin, now I can't say quacks.
But it's no MVP, most valuable primate.
It definitely is no MVP. Most valuable
Thank
primate.
goodness.
I'm gonna say 4.5. Yes, Mr. Quacksworth.
Mr. Ducksworth.
Mr. Ducksworth.
Get it right.
I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 stars.
moms.
North Stars.
Minnesota notes?
Yes, Minnesota
All right.
North Stars, don't you?
8 out of 10 Charlie's mom.
We're rating the movie, not the woman.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna give it 4 montages out of 5.
Push it to the limit.
Or 4 flying V's out of 5.
They're missing a player? Are they
Banks is out, man. Banks can't go back in, coach.
are they like in a power kill?
Power kill.
Goldberg's still tied to the net. That's
Obviously
what
so.
happened.
Power play is if when you do the power kills because you
Oh.
Four.
You just killed power play.
Yeah,
Power kill?
it hasn't been
Penalty kill.
Huh?
Penalty
Is there a penalty kill?
Yes.
God damn it, don't you watch any hockey?
Nobody would do not watch hockey. What?
All I see is PK. Subin.
Anyway, let's get to the second movie.
Wait, but the most important part of the first movie is that because of this movie,
We had the sequel.
Disney bought a team.
Yeah.
Was it?
No,
Why
it's the
happened
second
after?
movie.
But is it in the second movie where they actually bought the team? Yes, it would because the expansion was in '94, right?
The expansion was in
Happened right-
93.
Yeah.
The movie was in 92.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but they showed the jerseys in
In the second movie, yeah.
Yeah, they started
When
wearing
was
the
the
actual
second movie?
94.
94.
It was filming
It's
during
every 2 years.
'93.
Yeah.
So.
So it doesn't matter because the team was already out in 93.
And, yeah, but you're right. Because of this movie, Disney bought a team when the NHL, which luckily was expanding that
Yeah.
same.
Disney
year
has
right
that
after.
much pull to buy a hockey
Well,
team.
yeah.
They
anyone
are
with a
sold
lot
it,
of money
but
can
yeah.
buy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course they sold it.
But
Why? Of course they sold it. They sold it, and 2 years later,
They won it. Yeah, they
the
won.
Ducks won a cup.
Wow, Disney
yeah.
poor management. What's up?
Oh, it was just more of a product placement tie into the whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing,
They weren't making any more Mighty
Come
Ducks
on, this
movies
land.
or cartoons, so they're just like,
Yeah.
they moved it on.
Yeah. D2, the Mighty Ducks. So this takes.
Wait. Before you say anything, they literally use the exact same font and the exact same lettering for the whole intro scene from the first one to the second one. I was looking at this, I'm like, holy crap, they're cheap.
It's not cheap. It's adding continuations so that
Yeah.
you know nothing has changed.
They changed it in the third one.
It's also the 90s.
So there's no continuity error. Just
Was it in Papyrus? No, it's not complaining.
It was.
It was a comic song.
I would have settled for wingdings, but that's just
Anyway, go on. I had to just say that.
Okay, so Gordon Bombay is playing in the minors.
No, first off is a little flashback. Remember where you're from, Bombay. This part is yours.
That's where they set up
yes. Don't die.
This is where they set up the inner conflict of the movie. So Bombay is in the minor leagues. He's doing well. He's on his way to making it pro.
He's not doing well. He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go pro.
And then he
no one
basically
can't
gets-
see him on the NHL.
Then he gets essentially crushed by 2 players from the opposing team.
And he gets his
And
knee
injured,
effed
yeah.
up
Yeah, and so that brings them back to Minneapolis, I think, is where they live.
as a failure.
And this is where we get to meet Hans's brother, who we didn't know
Jan.
yet.
Yeah.
Jan.
What's his name? Jan. Jan and
who
Hans.
who picks him up because Hans was Hans was visiting the mother out back in the old country.
Germany.
Well, he just says like the old country. So you find out little things like Charlie's mom remarried, which is just a way to write,
What really fast?
just to write her out of the movie for some reason.
Retcon.
When you were gone for 6 months, my mom found someone else and married her.
I told him to marry somebody else.
I was like, whatever, he's in the minor leagues now. It's too high for you, mom. You gotta get someone else.
I helped become some other man's
I heard
wingman.
Ducksworth is once.
Okay, then Bombay gets essentially tasked to coach Team USA in the Goodwill Games, basically because he won a championship with this team.
Yeah, he's a Minnesota Miracle.
And so, basically, what they decide to do for Team USA is to take the Ducks and add in a bunch of players from different
states.
parts of the USA.
Wasn't it like 4 other people?
No, it was like six.
there was a Hispanic.
It was
So
Miami.
there was Miami, so you get Mendoza from Miami
Hispanic guy.
who can skate really fast but can't stop.
Right.
You get the girl from Maine whose name I can't remember. It's not Connie because Connie is the original girl. But the girl
She's
from Maine who's the goalie, the
Yeah.
second goalie.
She's like the best goalie
Yeah.
ever or something.
That they never use.
Yeah.
it Tammy?
No. Tammy was the figure skater from the first one. You get a cowboy from Austin, Texas.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Who is one of the best puck handlers.
Yeah.
But
He likes
too much of a showboat.
but he's too much of a showboat. You get Kenny Wu, who's
Who's a figure skater.
who's a figure skater to fix that quote Dakota who basically learns hockey because there's more of a future in it.
Yeah.
And he can't be touched. And then you meet what would become the Bash brother, the other aggressor.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah. And so they don't get along at first.
I liked his intro when he comes in. Like he's listening to rock music. He's like, and he skates in.
Like, is it really a teenager?
The Bash Brothers.
Yeah. Is he really a teenager?
So they start off, they don't like each other, they get into arguments, and then Bombay is like, look, you gotta work as a team.
Let me rope you up.
It's gotta be fun. They have a fun of roping around. And so...
Like his bondage fantasies, he ropes up the kids.
I guess so.
Oh,
so basically, Bombay signed a contract that would pay him a lot of money to coach Team USA
And he has a beach house.
to promote it. So you can start, it starts off as fun, but as they get to the actual tournament
And
in
merchandising.
Anaheim, and he gets the merchandise. So they end up on a Wheaties box. He gets his own photo shoot. He gets a beach house.
He gets
with
his
a nice break room.
his coach loafers that kids will want to buy.
Well, no, he's trying to pitch that, but that doesn't actually work. And so he becomes more of a douchebag as the thing goes. On.
He gels his hair back.
He basically goes back to how he was in Mighty Ducks 1.
Exactly.
Like,
So-
straight up, exactly.
Old good old Bombay.
So they start off the tournament against Trinidad, and which we'll get to.
Okay.
They win that one. Then they play, forget who, another team. It's like maybe Germany or something.
I think it was Germany.
Yeah, so they win that one, and then they play.
They play Canada, but they don't show it. It just comes up in a newspaper clipping. I remember that.
Then
for
they
a
play
fact.
Iceland.
Who are, if you didn't realize it,
Evil.
the bad team. They're wearing black, and they just straight up. Their coach is a douchebag. All the team
Wait,
are
their
douchebags.
coach got expelled from the NHL because he was just
A fighter, like a
'cause,
ridiculous.
He spent
bad
more
fighter.
time off the ice than
And this is this is like the 90s when hockey was still rough and tough.
Yeah, so
I think the
guy
nickname
killed
People more extreme.
The nickname they gave him in the movie was the Tooth Fairy because he kept destroying people's teeth.
The dentist.
The dentist. The dentist.
Yeah.
And Coach Blood comes back.
And this is played by Dolph Lundgren?
No.
Yes, the guy from Drago. Drago from Rocky 4.
It's not, it's not Dolph.
Yes.
I'm willing
Look
to put
it up.
money. How much money are we putting on this?
No, just look it
It's
up.
not Dolph Lundgren.
So who's the dentist?
It's the
It's
coach.
Samuel L. Jackson.
You're talking about the coach?
The coach for the Iceland team.
Yeah, it's not Dolph Lundgren.
No.
All right. Well, we take this slide break to figure out who this is.
Because I was just
Keith,
looking at it.
entertain us.
There you go.
Go look at the clip I sent Wendel.
No.
That was a clip of
No,
this.
he would have been built higher.
Isn't it Wolf Stanton? Coach Wolf Stanton?
Yeah, Wolf
Carson Norgrad.
Oh.
Not.
You
Carson-
should really.
No, I did look it up.
Oh, man, you should probably learn
Go on
how to read.
IMDb, man.
I'm looking at Wikipedia as well.
Look.
If it was Dolph Lundgren was in this, he would have had higher billing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they lose against Iceland because it's a double elimination tournament. They're not out. Their confidence is broken. Bombay is a bigger douche than ever. He
Oh
works
yeah,
so
because they
hard.
pulled the same stunt as they did in the first one.
Yeah,
Where in this one he's like, oh, he's having ice cream.
He's dating the
We're dating. They're just talking, and of
girl
course,
from Iceland, the assistant coach. or
and of
something
course,
like
the two kids are overhearing it and not they're misinterpreting
After-
and Charlie's
everything.
being a jerk about it. Too.
After perving off to some ladies showing off some clothes.
Oh yeah.
No.
No, that's the other movie.
No, the Bash Brothers are walking around trying to pick
it's
up
the Bash
chicks.
Brothers, yeah.
They notice him, and then before the tournament starts, a few of the kids from the team go looking for a shirt for Goldberg's mom, and they end up in a ritzy fashion place and get a fashion show. But I was gonna.
You know what I think my mom really needs? A bikini.
I was gonna get to that in general discussion. So they lose against Iceland. At this point, Kenan Thompson calls them out, and they go, Kenan Thompson's
no.
you guys suck.
They play some
I'm gonna show you some
it's-
real hockey.
Right.
So they go and they
To
meet
play-
with the older kids who teach them what being Team America is all about.
Black and Hood.
Yeah. So they play some street hockey. They regain their confidence. They continue.
Is that when they learn about the special?
The knuckle puck.
Yes.
Yes, they learn about the knuckle puck. At this point, during the game with Team Iceland, Banks got slashed, and so his arm is
Busted
busted. So, well, it was just the head the first time, but now his arm is busted because he's their best player. So they have to gimp him every movie just to.
So he's the Hulk. They have to shoot him off the planet.
Basically, it comes out that he can't really move his arm, so Bombay puts him on the bench, which means Kenan Thompson comes up to play. They play a few more games, and then they reach the final game where Banks is good again, and instead of Keenan's character going out, Charlie decides to go out and help the coaching.
Yeah, becomes the assistant.
And so they play Iceland. Iceland gets a lead, like in the first movie.
Right.
And then they start doing a whole bunch of ridiculous, fun plays to basically throw them off their game and catch back up. But this one has a more of a pull pull and pull,
Push
give
and
and
pull.
take, push and
Give and
pull.
take.
So like they can't get it, they catch up, and then Iceland will score again, and then they'll catch up again. Goes into shootouts, they win, and
Was it the Triple Deke this time that saved them?
nope, it was a good goalieing.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
true. The girl.
Yeah, which they do not use at all ever throughout the whole movie until
She's
this
their
one.
weapon.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, we got a goalie already though.
No, but I love like just to make her stay relevant. She ends up like literally going to the coach and be like, "No, literally, I want to play."
Yeah.
And the coach is like, "No, you'll play. Don't
we
worry."
have a goalie.
No, it's
Yeah, no,
like,
and he says the first time it's like, I'll keep it in mind, but we have a goalie kind
And
of
it's
thing.
Goldberg.
He kind of just, but now then he realizes he can use her later.
Yeah.
but
and
it's
then
so
It's a
bad.
shootout.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she's more swift.
And then they have the
good, though.
campfire at the end with the.
Oh, and they
post
sing
credits.
they
We are
sing
the
Queen,
champions.
we are champions.
Yeah, so let's just go quickly through the movie. My first thought, God, Gordon Bombay is 29. I'm like, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. That is insane to me. He looked too old to be playing hockey.
He's like Michael J. Fox in everything.
He looks too old.
Too old.
He's definitely not a Teen Wolf.
And then also the
Young
Charlie's Not
Noble.
Remarried. I love how you can just go from coaching a Pee Wee hockey team to coaching Team USA.
Yep. No, you know what's even better than that? When you discard your Team USA jersey and then you wear a brand new Ducks jersey.
Where did he get the Ducks jersey?
I don't know.
Jans.
Jans?
Jan, it's Jan.
Like Mundo disrespected USA over there.
Well, apparently they didn't care. They had already changed all the neon signs to go with it.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And then there's like,
We will quack you. Yeah. Oh man.
So there's also another montage when they're getting the gang back together.
Oh, so 90s!
That's
God, this movie is so 90s.
The Quack Attack is back, Jack.
And so they're just skating around all over town doing like extreme stuff.
Oh, look, and pulling pranks at the same time.
They go-
I take your hat. Oh, look, you're gonna be drowning in cement. Fuck.
yes. So when I think I go, so I love it. General Cinema. General Cinema. They go pick up Averman, the guy who likes to talk a lot.
Right.
It's super easy to be disruptive in a mall. Super easy on rollerblades. I love that it's getting It's getting the band back together as a montage.
Yeah.
And the cement guy on the face, and then I put him so dead.
No problem killing off some randoms on
So
the street.
dead.
But doesn't he fall into like a wheelbarrow or is he falls? when he
No,
falls
he's
back
down,
into the
and then some man
cement?
falls on his face, and he's like, and you see in his mouth,
He's just like, oh!
and the other guy's not paying attention because he's like, oh, these kids. And he's like, oh shit. He's
the
dead.
guy's about to make out with the girl, and then
Yeah.
they're like, dude, let's go play some hockey. He's like, I was this close!
Yeah, to both of them though. They're both on the team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, because in the first movie they had like they were holding hands. Sort of.
Yeah. Oh, they're moving forward.
Yeah, but
Only
nothing
took 3
happened.
months.
Nothing happened to.
Goldberg still can't skate.
But Goldberg's working at his family's delicatessen.
Yes.
It's like, wow, if you had to make him more stereotypical Jewish.
Yeah. And then the 3 bullies from the first movie.
Oh, they come back, yeah.
Yeah,
come
but,
back to try and
Reed,
trip him up.
but Reed like comes in like with his fucking deep ass voice.
Hey guys.
And then basically catches them and ties them to a tree.
Because the 90s, those wacky kids.
Oh man, but that montage was so 90s. It was definitely very fun.
That's why it hasn't aged as well as the one, because this one is really 90s.
The points that I had put throughout this whole thing was like many people injured on ice due to terrible refs. Like right from the beginning, like everybody's getting hurt, but the second that the Ducks are trying to do something, 2 minutes for blah blah blah, and it's like, where were you for like the 5 slashes ago? And oh man, and it's the same ref that comes back too. So you're just like, they still kept you. You're terrible. Sorry, the mistake I made is I wrote that Iceland team all look like Dolph Lundgren because they're all
like Swedish killbots.
I was gonna say this movie is so stereotypical. Like all the people.
How so?
Trinidad.
So
Hey, Michael, go.
just before that, when the new teams meet each other, right? So everyone's sort of like, there's the like all the different stereotypes. So like the cowboy stereotype.
You got that
figure
Latino
skating,
thug.
The Latino.
No, he's not really the thug.
No.
No, but he's
Yeah.
just a speedster.
Speedy
Speedy
Gonzalez
Gonzalez.
on ice.
Yeah.
The Asian that's like the figure skater.
skater.
He learned something very
You know,
very
you got the guy from Texas. You know, he's a cowboy.
No,
He's a cowboy, yeah.
I
like straight up cowboy.
No, Tammy and Tommy are gone.
Yeah.
The only ones that return are the black kid who had lines in the first movie, the most lines in the first movie.
And not his brother.
Not his brother.
He replaces his brother.
You mean no?
This is D2.
D2.
Yeah.
D2, yeah.
It's not. It's the brother.
Oh
It's
yeah,
the older
that's true.
brother.
Because there's the two.
There's two brothers.
There's two brothers.
But then
Two
one of them
brothers,
doesn't come back.
Yeah.
The young.
Because remember the beginning was like, hey man, the Quack attack's back.
Basically, it's Charlie, it's Connie, it's Connie's boyfriend who basically gets like forgotten throughout most of the movie. It's Averman, it's Goldberg, Reed, and then they add in like
Averman.
Banks.
I already said Averman. Oh yeah,
Averman.
Banks. And then they add in Connie. Not Connie. They add in the five others. They add in Kenan Thompson's character.
Averman.
And so I love when they first like start like getting along. They drive a Zamboni through the wall.
That was so good.
Oh my god.
Right off the bat, I'm like, yeah,
It's just like, oh my god, I can't believe that worked. It's like, hey, coach.
we're good. We're safe.
Destruction of property. Good job, guys. Not delinquents.
And then so they get to the competition, and Kenan Thompson is just a freaking heckler.
Yeah.
Just a heckler.
It's like, you guys suck. Team US, boo.
Aren't you from the US? Yeah, I don't give a crap. Boo, freedom of speech.
He's a consummate like internet troll before they became a thing.
He's the OG.
And this is great because when Calypso scores, when Trinidad scores,
Trinidad and Tobago
Calypso
scores. There's a steel band, a complete full set steel band is
Start
playing,
And everybody's dancing.
like in a whole section, and it's just so weird.
It's just
The
so
best part is,
also stereotypical.
best part is like,
No,
I don't
not stereotypical
all-
because they actually got that right. Normally they would get that so wrong.
So you're saying every time Trinidad scores a goal in hockey,
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Oh gosh, just
Hold on.
my wave, no man. Oh
How
my
is Trinidad
goodness.
Tobago 10th seeded? Okay, when you have like all of Eastern European,
I
like
don't
Europe,
know. That doesn't make
like
sense.
you
wanna know how?
you have so many countries, okay, that are way better,
Seb, do you
Well,
want to know
think
how?
about it this way. Think
probably
about it this-
better equipped to play hockey.
Think about it this way: Canada does not even show up in the movie. They only
yeah, because if it was factual, they would have
No, but they don't even
Seb,
show
Seb,
Canada.
the answer is that Americans only think very few places. They think of Europe as Europe is one place. Like all
Yeah,
the little
I think
things
it's
inside
Germany.
it are like those are cities.
So there's Germany and Russia.
Yeah.
I guess the two people that they fought against.
and they don't want to put it in Russia.
I think Italy was in there also, so I guess it was.
Italy
I guess
was there.
Europe was represented with the Cold War and the Axis.
Oh man, the goalie's just mouthing off the Italians, like, spaghetti,
Sure, they
meatball.
didn't play against Germany, but they played against Italy, I think.
Yeah, they do. They play
Yeah,
against
They
Italy.
do play against Canada, but you don't see it. It's just
No,
like,
but I don't think they played
newspaper.
against Germany, but they played against Italy, not.
yeah.
Okay. Also, another point on the Trinidad game is I don't even know how they scored.
And they scored because it's Goldberg and net. Of course they
Hey,
scored.
hey, you're lucky that they didn't play against Korea, or else we would not might not ever seen that.
North?
It would have been like Red Dawn.
You mean North Korea?
So also nighttime pranks so that they pull on the cowboy guy. So much shaving cream. So much. Like
Where
they
did they get
cover
this
most.
extra money from?
Well, apparently he had enough money to buy a shirt for his mom off of Rodeo Drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, just for days.
Where's the rodeo at?
First of
It's
all,
the
why do
90s
the
where-
kids have shaving cream?
It's the 90s where everyone has money.
Well, they
Just
probably
'cause
stole it. They probably stole it from Reed and the
Because
other
they're
basketball.
practicing.
Yeah.
It's just to probably do the prank anyway.
And I like how the Bash brothers are like, all right, we're gonna go to bed, fine. It cuts and keeps going with the shaving cream. They come back and they're just like dancing it out and like not.
Yo, you want to
sleeping.
listen to rock music while we go to sleep? Yeah.
Well, wasn't there a montage where they left the team or something, or they skipped out on something?
No.
Was it
There's
two,
like
two people? skipped
curfew.
out?
No, it's just curfew is
Oh,
for
it's three. Okay, excuse me.
what?
No,
So
it's
the third
in the
movie.
third movie.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, this is curfew for, curfews are for suckers, and they just go out on the town
Yeah.
and they feel like picking up chicks because, they're 13, but they look like they're older. Italy gets wrecked, as we mentioned,
Why are they playing hockey?
and then after that,
And you know,
I
Team
don't know
USA
why
is so
Trinidad playing
racist.
hockey.
not
I don't
just
know
that,
either.
yeah,
That's
while they
my
play that,
thing.
so many cameos
Oh yeah.
at the
Well, it's
party.
Disney.
Yeah. It was just like,
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, that's later, but-
Christina Yamaguchi.
Guy Laflamme,
Guy Laflamme.
no, sorry,
Guy
no,
Lafleur? No.
not
No,
the,
it's like
Guy Laflamme.
No.
What is he talking about? The guy from Goon?
no, the other one, no,
No,
anyway.
isn't it like Xavier?
Xavier Laflamme.
Xavier Lafleur.
No, but there's another one, but Chris Yamaguchi, just all
Chris
these cameos.
Chelios, Cam Neely.
Oh look.
Luke Robitaille.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Luke Robitaille.
Oh look.
Greg
It's,
Longus.
oh look. It's Wayne Gretzky. He loves
No, that's
USA.
later.
He loves USA.
That's
He
later.
loves USA.
Later.
does.
He couldn't support
They gave
Canada,
him
but he
money.
loves USA.
Canada, what's that? They don't exist in this
So yeah,
franchise.
the kids use the Aaron Spelling's name to get into the fashion shop.
Okay.
Using the whole Bavarian distraction technique. Don't you know who I am? Oh, one thing I want to know, and I wrote this down. This is the movie where I learned the difference between Iceland and Greenland, where Iceland is green and Greenland is icy.
Oh man.
Why does Iceland have a hockey team?
Why not?
Because they're
They have
called
a population
Iceland.
of like 100,000 people.
Because this was post-Cold War and they were trying to be nice with...
Yeah, but Iceland had nothing to do with the Cold War.
That's why I say they're trying to be nice to Russia. You don't use a person in a country that you just finished a war
This is
with
like
as your enemy.
War. It's like 4 years later. Come on.
It's exactly.
It still should still touch.
Yeah, but the movie was filmed 2 years earlier, probably,
Whatever.
or a year earlier. So they just chose a random country that they knew they could offend without actually caring, without actually.
Well, let's be honest. Iceland was supposed to represent Russia. It felt very Russian.
Well, basically, that was the whole joke, right? But they couldn't use Russia because.
This whole movie was like a big repeat of the first one, but like trying to up the stage a bit. Thankfully, the
world.
the guy who was giving money this time wasn't a complete dick, but he still had his one moment of like, well,
You're
if
here
you-
for the money.
If you don't do this, we're all gonna be out of a job. And it's like, but then he's all back and be like, yeah, kids, ducks, quack quack.
Well, yeah. So that's you're bringing up basically an integral part of the movie, which is the Iceland game. The first time we face off against them.
And they get destroyed.
Yeah, so there's some funny stuff like where Fulton Reed tries to his slap shot. It gets the goalie catches it.
And the
Everyone's
commentator's
surprised.
like, he's gonna have a puck mark on his right hand for sure.
Yeah.
It was the glove.
It was a guy.
The imprint of the puck in his hand.
Stigmata!
And then, like, Iceland are such dirty players. They slash the arm of a guy and only gets 2 minutes.
Because they're kids.
Apparently. Nowadays they get, like, expelled from the game.
Yeah, which they should.
And after the game, Bombay gives, like, the worst speech ever.
You guys are losers.
It's, like, horrible. And then he makes them go back to practice.
All night long.
So, I wrote, it's like, way to forget the lesson you learned in the first movie.
Yeah, he completely like goes back to his terrible.
Yeah, didn't you see his hair? He went like.
I
that
know,
shit
I know.
evil.
And then Keenan comes back and he's still heckling, like I mentioned. And they go and play hockey. They get back to it. Then the knuckle puck,
Yeah.
which is just crazy. It's basically like the slap shot from the first movie and the way they film it.
Mm-hmm.
Except for
Except
it's
they
more
have it
crazy.
spinning.
Except it's not only spinning, and like it has crazy curves and like loop to loops and like.
And it doesn't hurt if you catch it in your
It doesn't hurt if you catch it. It's just that it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I love how they teach Kenny Wu, the smallest guy on the team, how to fight.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a third match brother.
That was true. Oh.
baby back.
Yeah,
Little
they
back
teach the little Asian guy how to take other people's clothes off.
Well, yeah, that's
You
what
must
you
have
need to
liked
do.
that scene.
And he pulls off the top and just.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then there's the whole self-realization montage that then Bombay goes through where he's just skating in the park by himself.
Yeah, he does exactly what he did in the
Because
first
Jan
one.
comes and is like, you being a douchebag.
If my brother was here, he would tell you the same thing. Stop being stupid, bro.
But like in the first one, it's like, oh, here's a pair of skates, wear thick socks, just go skate and figure it out. And then in this one, he just does the exact same thing, except it's with rollerblades. And I'm like, oh, really?
And then I wrote creeper kiss because after he comes back from that
Yeah, like the
self-realization, he comes and he just kisses the girl on the cheek. The kid's
Well,
tear. They don't really set it up. It's just like out of nowhere.
Maybe it was more like a thanks. Like, thanks.
Yeah, but it was kind of
Thanks for
creepy.
not
and it was-
making us lose.
And it was very awkward the way he does it because he's just like kiss. Like he bends in, he pauses for a second, then kisses.
Come on.
He's a lawyer. He expects her to just know what to do.
You know,
And
it was
also
probably
right before that, he was like, with the little like duck
it
call.
was probably the highlight of her day.
So we find out that Banks is
machine though.
we find out that Banks' arm is broken, and that's in a very actually well acted scene by the kid.
Yeah, because you see a tear. But when he's sitting down, he's like, I can play, coach.
Oh, yeah, I felt so bad. I was like, oh, man.
The Iceland team comes before the finals, and they're just having fun on the rink before the final.
Yeah,
match.
and they destroy
And
a beach
they
ball.
go like the poor beach ball. What did it ever do to you?
In Iceland, there is no fun.
And then the coaches have this pointless like battle. Which
Yeah,
it
shoot
just
off
was
thing.
thrown in there for like.
Yeah, but it's
very
just to prove
pointless
how
what I
it's just to
thought.
prove how much of a jerk the Islander coach is. Because
Yeah.
then he slashes him on the knee.
Yeah.
Because he knows about the injuries like Tuck and Bombay.
Oh, shit.
I am the law.
Again, Karate Kid reference. Take the knee, sweep the knee, Johnny.
Yeah.
Except Bombay didn't have a little toy to swing around.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we get to the match against Iceland. Iceland gets up 4 points ahead.
Call it at that point.
And so the team tries a bunch of things to dismay, like the flying V, which gets wrecked. They clothesline Kenny Wu, I think, at some point, where he tries to split the defense.
Wait, yeah, what? That was the first time.
They clothesline somebody.
Yeah, well, the first time they played against Iceland, they didn't, Kenny didn't manage to do his trick.
Yeah.
But the second time they
We'll
played,
get to that.
Iceland's
So remember that.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
folks.
that was actually my next point, yeah.
Remember that, folks. You said they close the line somebody, no one goes into the box.
Yeah. And then Kenny Wu does the trick he tried in the first game, and it actually works, where he does an axle, it distracts them, and then he scores. And then the goalie tries to get in his face, he throws his gloves down and pulls the shirt over his head.
As you're supposed to.
And then he gets put into the penalty box. And then the Bash Brothers come, they start doing some crazy Bash Brother things, and they get thrown in for misconduct.
Oh,
And
yeah, and they start taking off their shirt, pumping up their muscles
Yeah.
and stuff, and all the girls are going nuts.
And then they put in Connie, and the Iceland players are being douches, and they're trying to like basically crush her into the wall. She's about to score.
So the Texan comes in.
Oh, yeah!
And ropes him.
Come on in! He totally comes in.
Yeah.
He gets sent also to the
He
box.
gets 2 minutes for roping.
Yeah. For roping? And at this point, I'm like, so many penalties.
There's 4 players.
And then then it's the end of the second period. They get a nice heartwarming speech.
Harnois, they're like, yo, you guys, stop being fucking clowns and get your stuff together.
Fighting for your country here.
Here's some New Jerseys.
You
call that crime?
And then everyone's quacking, and then we will quack you. And then I'm like, those neon signs changed pretty quickly.
Is this supposed to be like the red, white, and blue, not like purple, green, and white?
And then this is where they start doing crazy things to get goals because, it's still a Disney kids movie.
It's not the goalie, it's actually the black kid.
No, that's the last one. But
Yeah,
before that, they do
I knew
a
you were
lob
gonna get
shot.
to it.
They do a lob shot where they like, do you think that's gonna work, Charlie? It's like totally. So they throw a lob shot into the air. It falls right before the
Any
goalie.
decent player would have taken it
Yeah.
on the ice and just start playing.
Falls in the ice right before the goalie, knocks it in.
Dump the puck.
Luis skates really fast,
Oh my
stops,
I stopped, coach.
snow into the goalie's face. Actually, stop. They yell, shoot the puck.
Yeah. They get
Gets it in, and then they try the knuckle puck the first time earlier. It didn't work, and so they call a timeout. Even with the goalie, they basically pull the goalie switch up.
Yeah, that was
Where-
really fast.
I don't know how they did it without nobody realizing
Exactly.
it. And they score a tying goal. They go into shootouts. Everyone basically keeps up, and it's
But did you just gloss over the knuckle puck one?
yeah, no, he does his knuckle puck.
Yeah,
That's the goalie one.
Yeah,
Like-
I know, but
'cause,
like you didn't say
it's
like
like,
it's
oh,
like
the
it
goal-
turns out like they all of a sudden the goalie comes out of the net.
Yeah, that's
he pulls
it. The goalie
off
comes out
the
of the net,
helmet, and it turns out
and the
it's
commentators
Keenan.
are like, "What's going on? The goalie's out of net." It takes something.
And then someone
Oh my
gives him the
God,
near
it's
stick, and then he
Keenan.
does the knuckle puck from where? The blue line of their own blue line, and then
Well,
it
the
goes
thing is,
in.
Yeah.
and like it goes all over the place, so the guy can't
It
stop
goes,
it.
it goes around people's legs, it goes up and down.
Yeah, I
left
probably
and
went
right.
around the net 3 times before going in. You know, you don't know.
It pulled the Wayne Gretzky, hang out in the office in the back, and then came
It
around.
probably floated in midair for a bit. You know, they just went again.
They go to shootouts. The shootouts
So the knuckle puck is pretty much a UFO.
basically. Shootouts are basically very
Kinda
standard until the last one where the female goalie gets her shot at net.
Finally.
And they're like, he's the best scorer in this tournament. And he's like, you're mine, little girl, kind of comment. And it's funny because Iceland looks like it's a bunch of 20-year-olds playing against a bunch of kids. They're like twice their size.
We never seen like, well, that was the whole.
It's
I
because of
think-
those volcanoes up there, man.
Well, I think that's like one of the thing with Miracle was like it's like a bunch of older like Russian men, like USSR guys, versus like kids from like college, basically, and they managed to like overcome and beat them, kind of thing. So I think they're kind of playing off on that. Like, so like if you're an older person watching this, you're like, oh yeah, I remember the Miracle of blah blah blah.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? Like kind of like a symmetry kind of thing going on.
They win.
Yay!
She stops the goal. She basically figures out his move pattern.
Well, no, like
Well,
Coco Bay tells her exactly what to do.
It's like if he does this, he's gonna do that, and it's like, what if he does that?
No, he's a show. He likes to show off. He's gonna do like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
coach.
And like, oh, remember, and she catches it, but you don't know if she's safe because she gets up,
Yeah.
and she's left, right, right, left, opens up her hand, and then throws the fuck up. And you're like, oh my god.
Well, the thing is, the ref would have known, the line refs would have known.
Yeah.
The camera would have shown it up.
Yeah,
but they had to build it up.
Still a movie.
They had to build it up.
They win. They're the champions.
And
they
the Iceland players like, we have to go and say that they played a good game. Forget the coach, he's an ass. Goes and thanks everyone.
And it's a nice little credit sequence where they're all singing "We Are the Champions" behind a campfire to the end of the movie. And so
Goldberg burns his marshmallow.
yeah. So my thought on this movie: money corrupts, and that's basically what this movie is trying to tell you. Any thoughts on the movie? Other thoughts on the movies?
It's literally it's exactly the same thing as the last movie. They downplay the evilness of the evil side of things from the first movie a little less. They up the stage a lot more, so instead of having the Ducksworth being like a complete douche, you only have the guy who's slightly a douche a bit, but then he gets back to being like okay. But the movie plays itself very similar to the first one, except the stage is grander and they have a few more like tricks up their sleeves, but that's about it.
I disagree with you on the point that they tone down the evil. I think they actually camp it up and make it way more obvious.
I'm talking about specifically like if you compare Ducksworth versus the...
Oh, that guy wasn't really evil.
Yeah,
he was just a business guy.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, it's literally, you've got one guy who's like, you should learn a lesson. Never mind, I'm gonna fire you. While the other guy is just like, we kind of have to keep our jobs.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but no, that guy, okay, like, even Jan's, like, says it, like, the reason he chose you is because they said how much of a great person you were and how you love the sport. So the guy, okay, he got maybe a bit corrupted because of the money, but, you know, at the end, he realized, oh, okay, whatever. So, like, that part, no, but talking about evil, I'm sorry, but the Iceland coach...
Oh, no, the Iceland coach
is pure evil. Yeah. Okay.
Any thoughts?
D2.
No thoughts, Keith? Okay. Seb?
I like Turtles.
I remember watching D2 a lot more than D1, and sadly, some parts don't hold up as much, but it's still like a good nostalgia trip.
It's a good time capsule for that time period.
Yeah.
I find, but yeah.
And
it's no D1.
It's no D1, but I still like it.
Yeah.
It still has a whole... And just the fact that, like when you get a little bit older and get into hockey, and you're like, wow, they just kind of gloss over Canada. Trinidad's there for no reason.
10th seed in the world.
10th
Come on.
I feel so proud, but it's just like, no,
There's
that's
no
not true. Like Trinidad, like I've been to Trinidad before, and they're like, how's the snow up there? Oh, you know, it's cold. I don't want to deal with that. Like, how do you change?
What is ice?
Like, no, they know what ice is, but it's just like, wait, so you're putting knives...
Yeah, you put it in your drinks.
Yeah, exactly. You're putting knives on your feet to skate on it, and then you're taking a stick to hit a hard piece of plastic into a net at somebody else? That makes no sense.
Wait, there's enough ice to make a rink? I thought it was
Wait, how cold is that actually? How cold is that? It's relatively cold. No, I don't want to deal with that.
You have to wear a sweater.
Like that is a whole like cultural shift you have to do to make this work. Like they would spend money elsewhere than an actual hockey team.
Well, Kevin stole the points I was gonna make, so
Good work, Kevin.
But in all honesty, it's a fun movie. It's very campy. It's very 90s, like very 90s. The montages are a lot more, how would I put it, elaborate, but still feel very believable to some extent. The kids feel very believable, though. Overall, it's just a fun movie, and I don't watch it expecting a masterpiece, but I enjoyed it very much. So
I do like how they introduce all the kids, like they reintroduce the old kids, the new kids, and it's like this is their superpower.
And they all have their different strengths, but they're not invincible. So,
and I remember the girl was from Maine. That's what I remember specifically.
Yeah, well, she basically says, "I came all the way from Maine to show the world what I could do. Don't make me be a putz or something like that."
Okay.
She doesn't say that, but she's
Thanks
something
for
like
letting
that.
me play a second, coach.
Yeah. Well, she did basically get what she wanted to show what the world what she could do, and she got it on like she had the most important save.
Yeah.
Ratings.
I'm gonna steal this from Wendel because I know he wants to say it, but I would say 6 out of 10 knuckle pucks.
I would say 4.5 uncalled slashes out of 7.
Out of 7?
Jesus. 7? What the? You're weird. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 steel pans playing for a victory goal.
Said that nothing.
What's your rating? Just give it a rating.
I don't know. I would say 1.75 out of 3.
Creepy kisses.
1 point.
Creepy kisses. Unexpected creepy kisses on the cheeks.
With the lingering creepiness.
The little lingers. Just like make it just a bit more awkward.
Douche chills.
Alright, and I'll give it 3.5 we will quack yous out of 5. Awesome. Okay, and so now we'll get to D3.
1.75 out of 3.
So D3
Was a movie, don't see it. Bye-bye.
We're going through this. We're going
Yeah,
through
so
this.
the kids get a scholarship for being to
The
this
best.
This
The best in the world.
yeah, so they got a scholarship to this preppy, competitive
Sports school.
high school
No,
called Eden.
it's a college, no?
No, it's high school.
It's a college, no?
It's a college.
It's a
It's a
college.
college?
Yeah.
Well, they're not. They're
They
not.
say he's 14 in this one.
Well, the thing is, you know, you can have a private college, but it's not actually a college. It's
I'm
just
pretty
a,
sure it's a high school they're
I
going
thought
to.
it was a college.
I'm pretty sure it's a high school.
It's high school.
It's just like, you know, it's
It's-
like saying le Collège de Montréal, like
Oh, like academy kind of
Yeah,
thing?
it's an academy.
It's Eden Hall Academy. It's not a. I
yeah.
thought it was colleges at first, but
it's not a
when
university.
he says hi, my name is Charlie, and 14 when he's flirting with the girl, I'm pretty sure they're at
High school. Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
It's just a private high school.
That's it.
Wow.
Or
It's
they
very
all got
competitive.
scholarships because they were stars.
Basically.
Okay.
3 degrees.
So they all get scholarships. So
You get your hockey degree.
a few of the kids from the kids from the other teams from the second movie show up first because they're from out of town, and then there's another the gang skates together montage, not montage, but sequence where Goldberg gets separated and does all these wacky things. And then they show up to the assembly, ruining it and looking like fools. Now you get to meet the douchebag bullies of this one, the varsity team,
Right.
who I think they're holier than thou in this school because the guy's father is one of the main donators to the school. They find out that Bombay isn't going to be their coach anymore, so Charlie takes this pretty hard
But why?
because he was attached to the guy, as we found out in the first movie.
No, why isn't Coach Bombay?
Oh, sorry.
He tried so hard to get him and his mom together. Of course, that's why.
Because
he's
Bombay
pissed.
gets offered a,
Babe, why don't you want to be my daddy?
because he got offered the ability to determine recruitment over the world for the Goodwill games, I think.
No, you became the coach for Team USA in Goodwill.
No, it was because he
No,
got
no, no,
offered
it was more than that.
it was something like world level, like at the world level for the Goodwill.
Something
games.
executive, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
of the
okay.
word, yeah.
So
Do you think Coach Bombay is the reason why it went under like 10 years later?
Well,
yeah,
11
obviously-
years now.
even though Emilio Estevez has stopped billing in this, it's clear that
Yeah,
he didn't
better
want to
stuff
be
to do.
this movie because he barely appears in this movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where, yeah. So they meet their new coach, and he's very strict and kind of mean, as you notice. You also find out that Mendoza is a real big perv.
Mendoza!
Why, because he's Hispanic?
No, at one point he's underneath the
No,
the
because he's
tables.
looking up women's skirts.
Why, because he's Hispanic? And Cholo?
He's literally hitting on everyone, and then at one point he's just crawling underneath the table, and he's looking at all the underneath the skirts, and he's just
It's like he's never
winking
been
at the
around
camera.
women before.
So a bunch of, I guess, antics happen with the bullies. They try to bully them. The team tries to get back at them. They play their first game. It ends in a tie.
Whoa, 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 whoa. To be more specific, they go up to 9 points, and then they screw it up in the third period where the other team gets 9 points. That's horrible.
And then the bullies put their clothes in. There's some more bully antics where the bullies get them, so they get them back.
Right.
They get stiff for a dinner. Then they get them back by putting fire ants in their dorm room.
Well, this stiff for the dinner thing is like, it's a tradition that goes into pro hockey, where like whenever you have the new people on the squad, the whole team goes out for a big dinner, and then like the older members of the squad say like, oh, we're gonna go pay for the dinner, and kind of cut out, and then they stiff the bill with the younger guys, the new guys, basically.
Yeah.
Some hazing.
It's a little bit of hazing, but they were
Before
also being
it was illegal.
So Charlie starts rebelling against the coach because he wants to have fun, but the coach is trying to teach him to be
Teach
better
him how to
player.
play actual hockey.
Because they try the flying V, it gets crushed.
again, like horribly.
Like pretty bad. So Charlie basically quits the team for a bit. He's being all rebellious. He skips school. Coach Bombay comes back and he's like, here's the Coach Orion, the new coach's backstory.
Yeah,
so
oh,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
feel as bad. And that's obviously when the other coach
He-
turns around as a character to some extent as well. Also,
Yeah.
even though he hasn't really anything to do
He
with it.
couldn't continue playing because he had to stay for his paraplegic daughter.
yeah.
Tears
So-
roll down the cheek.
So then there's some, what is it? So Bombay gives that whole speech with Charlie afterwards. They go play some street hockey. Everything's good again. Then there's this,
Hockey always makes it better.
then they find out out that so Charlie comes back asking to be on the team. Then they find out that their scholarships are going to get revoked because
They suck.
Reasons.
because of that one game that they did bad at. So then there's this boardroom scene where Bombay comes and saves the day
Because he's a lawyer.
because using his lawyer skills. Then there's a training montage because they have to play against varsity and they have to like amp their game. Then there's more Charlie macking on some girl. Wow, I got really bored at some point. I stopped taking notes about how this movie went.
No.
So they play the game and it's pretty much a 0-0 game.
It's such a boring game because there's nothing that's happening.
It's like there's back and forth, back and forth.
Oh
They
my
do
god,
some-
they're playing hockey. What a shot.
They're playing hockey with the new NHL rules. Ah, this is a shambles.
They play like they do some crazy final like move where Charlie finally learns to trust people and they score a point and win the game. And the stakes have never been lower.
But I love like how, like what the coach teaches these kids. All right, you're gonna learn this new thing called the defense. It's like they didn't know about that before. Holy crap!
Yo, guys, today you're gonna play with the D.
Well, you never seen the movie Rocky when you're fighting? There's no defense. It's just straight up punch.
Yo,
punch,
kids,
punch.
today you're gonna play with my D.
The next tactic, the next tactic to train the kids is like, all right, I've thrown garbage on the ground, pick it up. And so like their whole tactic for like one of the montage
Kids, you're gonna get used to the D.
it's just picking up trash off the ground. I'm like,
the
what
ice.
does this have to do with hockey?
So this movie, it starts with a we've come such a long way montage that goes on forever.
Yeah.
For the credits, it's just so long.
Remember all these other movies? You're gonna watch them again right now.
You know,
It's like I didn't even need to watch the first two movies to know what happened. So Bombay is off to do hockey everywhere. Charlie can't accept it. He really can't let go.
No,
he
'cause
really
he
needed
needs
to learn to let it go.
Because he needs a dad.
Pre Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. The mom's back in this movie as well.
Oh wow.
But no mention of the father at all.
yeah.
The
the new guy.
divorce.
And it's nice how everyone's going to school together again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just makes it easier. That's all.
they finally replaced Goldberg as the goalie.
Yeah, exactly. They
Which
finally
makes
got
way
rid
more
of him.
sense because not Connie, the other girl whose name I still don't remember.
Why don't you Google it?
You can Google it.
Well, I don't care about
Okay.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well,
She's
thanks
actually a
for
good character.
derailing.
it. What to say is she wasn't very developed in the first one. I didn't see the
No, that's the
second
thing.
one.
They made her out to be such a great goalie, and then it's like, no, we're not going to use
Very
her.
underused.
It's because the comedy comes from Goldberg. That's why.
So like, it went all the way to like this movie for her to be the actual legit goalie,
Yeah, because Goldberg's gold.
and he's better as the defense.
He's Goldberg, Jerry, gold.
I can defend, but I like how it's still only one defenseman. Like, where's the other one?
Well, maybe the other one's attacking.
Julie, I think her name. Julie the
Yuli.
cat.
Yeah, Yuli.
Yeah, Julie the cat.
It is
Gaffney,
Yuli.
yeah, Gaffney, Julie Gaffney.
The cat.
Yeah.
had
So there's more
nicknames.
rollerblading sequences where they're
90s.
getting the gang back together to go to the school. You find out how dumb the high school bullies are. Yeah, we're the varsity team.
Oh,
My
yeah.
little brother got kicked off the junior varsity team for you guys.
Oh.
Hey, you little jocks. We're the big jocks.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Seriously, that was the weirdest part too.
It felt like
One thing-
Revenge of the Nerds, but like all jocks.
One thing I liked was that when they were gonna go face them the second time, and they're like all down in the dumps, they're like, oh man, like our main goon guy can't handle these guys anymore
By himself.
by himself. And then like the other brash brother comes in, he's like, hey guys, what's up? I was in Chicago and I found this this paper lying around. It turns out I can go to this school now, thanks to Gordon Bombay. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we got our enforcer back.
Yes, that whole scene was
That was-
amazing.
I like that scene.
Up until the point where they don't use him at all.
They did.
And he
They
gets
used him a
into
little
the
bit.
penalty box.
I used them a little bit, like they were like knocking out some of the other players, and one.
Well, that's the
gets
whole
sent-
point of a goon.
Yeah, you're supposed to rough up the other guy. You're supposed to rough up the other team members to rile up your team to get back
But
into
he's
it.
literally in for like a minute, and then he's in the penalty box. The other guy's in the
All it
penalty
takes
box.
is a minute to switch the momentum of the game.
And
Yeah,
then you
it's
have the little basher that's in as well, and it's like, okay, there's nobody playing.
And doesn't Goldberg join the Bash Brothers for a bit?
No,
like, or he helps them up, or they help him up or something.
No, he tries to. The three Bash Brothers, but it's like one of the like a kid calling from the back that he's the tough guy, but he's in the back.
Oh, okay,
Kind of
okay.
thing. So back to that rollerblading sequence, which is this extended sequence. Like a lot of these sequences are really long too. Goldberg gets separated because he still has trouble skating. Goes down some stairs. Ends up down an alley where a dog tries to to bite at a towel or a sheet that's on his head. He gets caught up in a hose that goes for a pretty long while before it unspins him. Charlie jumps over a car.
Because
90s extreme. Like John McEnroe on with Mr. Deeds.
Yeah.
He jumps over the car.
And these jocks also apparently being state champions
At
or
20 years old.
are somehow being better than national champs. Like these guys won at the world level, but these guys are state champions.
Well, they're older.
Yeah.
More skilled.
So I'm
more
like-
versed in the art of hockey.
Also, that school was so boring.
yeah, that was one thing that confused me is that just Goldberg did not know how to skate.
Yeah, like after
that
2 movies.
That's confused the like.
The thing is, Reed learned how to skate within like 5 seconds in the movie. The first one.
So
Just saying, Goldberg,
But-
worse than Reed.
yeah, and like they teach Reed, they teach the Spanish, the Miami player how to stop. They do all that with everybody.
And Goldberg
They actually really didn't teach him how to
and
stop.
Goldberg is just like,
They just
whatever.
overlook Goldberg not being able
Probably
to
eating
skate.
his Cheetos, just like, whatever, man.
The Miami guy still has trouble stopping.
He still stops.
And then there's this like the announcer kid. I'm like, is that a young Ryan Gosling?
Is it?
I don't know. I couldn't find out.
Oh.
It looks so much like him, but I can't find any info on that. So man,
Well, if you check his IMDb, it's probably.
I checked. I checked the movie. I checked the full cast list.
Maybe it wasn't him.
No, but that kid looks like a really young Ryan Gosling.
It could possibly be because
it's
Well,
not
Ryan
because
Gosling is in
he's-
Goosebumps.
So-
he
if
was
you
a
recognize
Disney
him from
kid. He
Goosebumps,
was in
he's
the Mickey Mouse Club in the early
Yeah.
90s. But no, he would have probably been too old.
It's
at that
weird.
time.
Mendoza. When I say Mendoza is a perv, it's for when he gets rejected by the cheerleading girl, and she's like, "Oh, my boyfriend over there," and he goes under the table, and he's just looking under the girl's skirts as he passed by, and then it's implied that one girl wasn't wearing underwear.
Oh.
And then he looks at the camera and he smiles.
He
Okay,
literally
so
breaks
he's
the fourth wall.
He's just a huge perv.
Exactly.
Exactly. He's not
That's
just
why.
saying it just
'Cause he literally did something super pervy.
He's like, I'm gonna go underneath and peek at her.
Also, Goldberg.
Wait, he's like a voyeur, you
Yeah.
know?
You have the varsity team.
team.
You have the varsity team at that point too. Also, like stealing lunches from kids.
Oh,
So
yeah,
they-
because they're bullies.
yeah, so the gang
bad.
ends up pulling the same stunt they did from the first movie, where they're trying to like find poop
Yeah.
and put it in a bag. So they're like, "Oh no, but these are the brownies that my mother made," and the guy's just.
I think it was Benjamin Salisbury, the announcer kid.
Okay, well, he
The
looks like
guy
a young
from the
Ryan Gosling.
Nancy, from the nanny.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, he looks like a young Ryan Gosling in certain camera shots. Also, Goldberg becomes such a douche
Oh, absolutely.
in this movie because he's trying to fatten up the Jenny because he's mad that he lost his spot as a goalie even though he didn't practice to keep it or anything
Yeah,
like
he
that.
didn't do anything. He was
Okay,
like,
so
oh,
that
I'm
And
was-
Averman's like, why don't you just try to, instead of you trying to lose weight, why don't you just try to fatten her up? So she does that. And she basically just starts eating food without, like, any care. And then she throws up before they get to their next practice.
Oh my goodness.
Also,
man.
she should develops a bit of a bulimia.
The dark side of the
Oh,
movie.
gosh, oh, God. And then
It's a real
Banks,
problem though.
It is. Maybe it was a statement.
Banks gets, so at after the first practice, Banks gets moved up to varsity. So I feel bad for him because
Because when you're good, you're good.
Because basically, he's good. Because he's good, he's being alienated from his friends again, and they're basically treating him like the old team kind of treated him.
Right.
So once a duck, never a duck.
And then that game where they basically blew a 9-point lead was just ridiculous.
The 9 points is the ridiculous part.
Is that they were up 9 points, and then they let the team score 9 points in one period.
But then again, older NHL rules, it wasn't a higher scoring game. They're trying to do it now.
It's higher scoring now.
Yeah.
Also, Kenny.
It used to be higher scoring way back.
But like not that far back, not 90s.
No.
Yeah.
Kenny sucks at trash talking. Who, the kids.
Oh, the
sucks
Asian
at
kid?
trash talking. That's pretty fun. And then the pranks that they pull, like, so the bullies throw their clothes in the showers, and so they decide to get them back by using liquid nitrogen in the locker room. Liquid nitrogen.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Okay, so if you go to preppy high school, you know, liquid nitrogen's like,
I'm like,
around the
oh,
corner in barrels, and you're like, oh look, what I found, liquid nitrogen, let's play with this.
You guys didn't have liquid nitrogen in your high school?
I guess.
No, we didn't.
Oh,
We're
man,
poor high
guys,
school.
totally
No, like
We didn't go to
legit,
Mr.
like,
Fancy
this is
Pants
like
awesome school.
we used it for many
I
pranks.
didn't.
This is
I
a
know you
huge
did.
barrel. It's not
We did.
not a small barrel. It's like a huge barrel with like a whole pressurized system and everything.
I had
That's
liquid
not cheap.
I had liquid nitrogen at
To my
school.
knowledge, no. To my knowledge.
No, my school's too cheap for that.
We had dry ice, but we didn't
They get
straight
stiff for
out.
dinner, so they have to
Yeah.
pay it off by cleaning the entire restaurant and doing the dishes and all that, but they retaliate by using fire ants, by locking up all their dorm rooms with a rope. I was thinking, these are very...
basic.
No, what was that movie again?
Ski Patrol.
No, the first one that does that. Home Alone. That was very Home Alone of the way they did it. Gosh, so silly. Ants.
Ants everywhere.
This is how you get ants.
Oh, but you had the cowboy guy keeping a lookout, and he ropes one of them.
He hog ties them, basically.
It's so bad.
That's always so worth it. Just to have a cowboy guy to hog tie somebody.
So then we get up to the coach's backstory part, where you just basically in a few sentences get told why the coach is...
Why you
Not
should
that
feel
bad.
bad for
Why
him.
you should feel bad for him. Why he's not such a bad guy as he seems. Which also, it feels like at some point, like that coach should have been involved more in that sequence because his attitude kind of changes right away.
Yeah.
I could have put out something maybe.
So,
Maybe Bombay has a talk with him inside.
but, and this also brings up another point that I don't know what happened to Charlie, because in the first two movies, as clingy as he is, he was like one of the more rational kids for like those two movies.
Puberty.
I know, but but it feels like they're
Hormones.
overcompensated completely.
Yeah.
Like completely in
He was
the other
super
direction.
angry that his mother didn't wait for Coach Bombay.
Yeah, she could have waited a year and get that B dick.
Hey, Mom, if you slept with him, maybe we'd still have been our coach. this whole
Coach
time.
Bombay could have cracked all over her.
Also, Coach Bombay is kind of creepy when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that way he
Terrible.
wakes up Charlie when he's about to go get
And
the coach's
like, he whispers in
backstory.
his ears.
He's just like, no, he sets an alarm, and then he's just sitting on his bed waiting for him to wake up.
But that's what Charlie wanted all this time. That's what
That's
a real
why
dad
Coach
would do.
Bombay didn't give his mom the D. He
I
wanted
like
to
the
give
mother
Charlie the
allowed
D.
this,
He was
too.
conflicted. Maybe I should give the D to Charlie, but no.
I like how either the mother allowed him in or he still had a key to the place and just kind of got
I'm
in.
pretty sure the mother let him in.
Because that would have
I'm
been
sure
even
he
creepier.
creeped through the window.
Anyway.
Creeps through the window, ties up the mom, goes on Charlie's bed and waits.
Side of
That's why he
Disney
disappears
movies.
right after.
Also,
Hey, Charlie, I thought you said the ducks together.
yeah, it's about this point where I start
wanna know
getting
what
really
makes them
bored of
stick
the
together?
movie. It's at this point I start getting really bored of the movie because even the movie's not trying anymore. They have this boardroom scene where the kids are gonna lose their scholarships, and it feels so pointless. It
It's
like
not pointless. It's
it's
a
what
plot
it-
device to
it's-
make the movie progress.
This is what
not
kids.
even. It doesn't even make the movie progress. It actually does nothing to the plot.
Andrew, this is what kids care about: boardroom meetings, trade
But
blockades,
schools-
you know, all
I know.
that good stuff.
But schools
Legal
had
jargon
meetings
here.
where like they would take away scholarships and stuff. Like that's a legit threat in
Yeah.
the private area schools.
No, I get
Especially
that.
for the
So
like,
what? I'm a kid. I don't give a shit.
No, especially for these downtrodden kids, you know, this might be the best education they're ever gonna get.
No, I get that part of it, but it seems very contrived. It comes out of nowhere.
Okay, The Social Network had actually really funny, entertaining boardroom scenes. This movie did not. I'm not saying it should be The Social Network, but come on. We're in a room where everyone's statically sitting down. Not college, high school. It's high school.
Yeah, but also the
It's high school. It's a Catholic.
Okay, so I haven't seen the Social Network, but
Yeah, I'm
I
saying this is high school. Social Network was college.
Yeah,
University.
but still. It was so
anyway, because you guys are just going off this really long tangent. Basically, in the Social Network, I would figure that the boardroom scenes actually advanced the plot to some extent, or at least character development.
This did nothing.
It did not advance the characters in any way, shape, or form.
It made
just,
Coach Bombay
It's
look
like
good.
it just felt like they had contractually obligated to put Emilio Estevez was just doing a scene that he needed to, just to like get it out of the way. And so they just put that scene in there so he could come in for however much time he could. Like they got him for like 2 days or 3 days, and he's like, "That's all I'm gonna do," and that was
Right.
it. So it feels like that. Like the kids, it just. I mean, like yes, it's mentioned at first that it's there for as a publicity stunt, but it feels like they lost that. They tied that one game, and then before they even play their second game, it's like, yeah, we're already gonna rule on whether or not you can keep your scholarships. And it's obvious that the
Well, how bad did they lose the
parents-
first game?
They lost a 9-point lead and they ended in a tie.
Well, there you
There's
go. It's
there's
'cause,
only
you know, if you have a 9-point lead and you like mess up that bad, you're like,
They didn't lose, they
I mean,
tied.
Yeah.
well, come on.
If
9-point
Montreal
lead.
lost a 9-point lead and just got a tie, do you think the city would take that?
That's it. Why would someone? Okay.
But nonetheless,
But
Why would-
they had
why
a
would
tied game,
we're crazy,
and they
though.
played
It's a
a
big
kind of
difference.
like hashed up like a match that was just
Hold
like
it,
an
maybe-
aggressive
sorry.
match against the varsity team.
Sorry.
That's it. 2 matches.
I would make it more like this. It would be like if Quebec Nordique came back for one game, said, we're replacing the Montreal Canadiens, they lost a 9-0 lead, everyone would be like, get out
Deke.
Well, that's it. Look,
Canadians
why,
back.
why should the school be paying for these kids' education if they're gonna blow it? Like
It was based
It's
off of
just-
one game.
It's to
Yeah, well,
show that
can't
there are
base it off of
consequences
no,
for
but
not.
the thing is, you
I
can't
know.
make it on one
There
game.
are
But if
consequences
you're
for
losing
not
nine,
winning, Andrew.
if you lose your
if you just want to
9-point lead,
participate and
Okay,
have
too many
fun,
people are talking at the
hey,
same time.
if you lose your 9-point lead, okay, you have to rethink
Okay,
it. You
so
have
I'm
to
gonna put
rethink
it this way.
Especially in one period. you
I'm
have
gonna put it
rethink
this way: if you want to make that a threat for the movie, you have, and you've done many montages because they pretty much cut out most of the montages that they had in the earlier, like they did in the earlier movies. You montage them tying or losing several games, which you could easily do. They lost the homecoming or the first game of the year, and all of a sudden, not even right away. This is like weeks later, all of a sudden it's an issue and their scholarships are getting revoked. If they wanted to bring that up as a more relevant scene to the movie, you show a montage of them not doing well.
No, I
it.
agree.
Bad editing. Maybe they edited it out.
For a
They cut it.
movie about hockey, I only count 2 mad games.
That was what I was going to bring
Two
up
and a
also.
half. 2.5. 2
This
games.
after this pointless scene, my next comment is there's so little hockey in this movie at this point. It feels like there's none.
It's about the Ducks. Nobody cares about hockey.
But it feels like they didn't actually. It's like whoever directed this or whoever wrote this movie did not see the first 2 movies.
Maybe that's
Or
what really
forgot that this whole thing was
Maybe that's
based
what
off
really was
hockey.
like. I want $1 million per line.
And forgot what made these first 2 movies so much fun.
Because whenever you have a sports movie, it's always supposed to be about the sport. You're supposed to show a good chunk and promote the sport.
What about Field of Dreams?
Yeah, but it's baseball. Nothing happens.
So like,
Baseball is like cricket, but shorter.
and after that, they give them a training montage so that they can get better in time in 1 week to beat varsity.
Yeah.
So
Just
Pick up the trash.
Like, which is it's just the weird. It's just like, okay, these kids are the sophomores and they're facing against varsity.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
just like that doesn't usually happen.
and if
well,
they don't
they set it
win,
up early on that this is a thing that happens at least.
in this one school.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, fine.
They set it up as just a game between the different teams to.
And now we don't
So,
want
some
here.
friendly competition.
Because it is a competitive school, so
Yeah.
they just do that to motivate both teams.
So you have the first match, which they tied from 9-9. Then you've got the second, like, fake match against varsity due to, like, all the...
That was just them letting off the steam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's
it
the
ends up
friendly
just being
match.
like a big fight thing. Yeah, friendly. It
Well,
just ends
so
up being a
it's-
big fight. And then you get the final match.
Where they win.
No goals.
Yeah, but okay,
Throughout
so I'll
the
put it this
whole
way.
thing.
In the boardroom scene, it's heavily implied that the only reason why they're even up for nomination for losing their scholarship is because the rich kids want them out.
Well, because they pay for school.
And it's just,
and the other
it's just
kids didn't.
implied a bit because the guys said my dad is rich, blah 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 blah. But it just like, oh by the way, Charlie's angst plot, and then oh by the way, Charlie's fixes his angst plot part, and then it's all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, scholarships are gone because we need a reason for you guys to like get motivated for some reason. And even then, it doesn't feel like that was a very good motivator.
A lot of bourgeoisie gets what it wants.
And then they have the match. Like I said, it's like we mentioned before. It's a very boring match. It's a 0-0 match, but it feels like nothing happened. Other than the fact that the random brash bro comes back.
Yeah.
Half of them end up in the penalty box
Again.
again. And
That's
Charlie
number 2.
learns to pass the puck.
Oh, God.
Wasn't Charlie's first thing that he always choked and missed? Then the second one's like, oh, I'm not that great.
And then,
And the third one's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll pass the puck one day.
so yeah, no, in this one he's trying to showboat too much, and he when he could have scored, he didn't because he didn't pass the puck. But now he basically passes the puck, and Goldberg gets a goal.
Oh, wow.
Even that goal,
So
like,
Goldberg gets the gold.
even that was done very poorly because it's like it almost felt like it took 5 minutes for him to be like, huh, 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 huh.
Oh, God.
Ooh, like, and he hits it in.
Yeah.
Well, he is a goalie.
So Goldberg
No,
is
he's
the
a
MVP,
defenseman
most
by that
valuable
time.
primate.
I like how the Bash brother who comes in out of the blue ends up being like the least used. I like it would have been great if he at least had done something a little bit more, but not immediately
Well, he
get
was
thrown in.
I remember he wasn't a scorer. He was just an enforcer guy.
Yeah.
But then,
but-
but they're all surprised that they're like, "Wait, Goldberg got the goal?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!" And it's like, yeah, I'm surprised too because that was the only goal that sort of like went through the actual match of this whole thing. Thanks.
Yeah, it was the one goal. It was a 0-0 match and then one goal. So at least they tried that to make that hockey game a bit different, but it didn't work. But even then, that also felt like basically.
Because it felt too much like hockey.
So I'm gonna, like I mentioned before, this movie is trying to be more mature but it's a Mighty Ducks movie. It's trying to be angsty, but it's a Mighty Ducks movie. There should be
It's a teenage company.
someone becomes a douchebag for a little bit. He realizes his mistake because someone gives him a heartwarming speech, and then everything gets better. And then they play a match, they lose a bit, and then they do some really crazy tricks. They tie, and then they win. I get they didn't want to do the whole shootout thing again, but this movie is just like the angst is not believable. The douchebag turn feels so forced. The heartwarming speech is so contrived. It feels like I mentioned, the person who wrote this movie completely took out everything that made those first two Mighty Ducks movies good and just
shat on it.
Basically, shat on. The third, the movie is just like, why? And I was prepared to go into it remembering it not so fondly, but it's the one I remember the least. But
because you've seen it the least.
Anyway, any other thoughts?
The person who plays the main villain kid is the same person who's the doctor in Firefly. I found that kind of funny, seeing him being kind of the jerk. Like I mentioned before,
He was a bit of a jerk as a doctor also.
As I mentioned before, it reminded me a lot of Revenge of the Nerds, but both jocks, they're all jocks. So it's really weird. All the coaches just seem to not be able to coach the new or old ones. It seems like they fail to communicate to the kids properly.
Well, that's anyone talking to teenagers.
No, but even Andrew pointed that out. In the first part of it, the new coach is just being mean for the sake of being mean, or just not properly conveying what he needs to convey. And then all of a sudden, after montages and all this stuff, it's oh, now we're gonna tell you why.
After Charlie sees him with his daughter, okay, I'm gonna be nice to Charlie now.
And he doesn't even realize it too. That's the funny part.
And this was we didn't bring it up, but this ends up sort of being a big focal point in the movie. Is that this whole all the matches, all 2.5 of them. This is for Hans because that guy from the first movie that wasn't in the second movie. Yeah, he's important in the third movie. He dies halfway through the movie.
Right.
And it's
spoiler. Died.
Okay, it's a spoiler, but if you haven't seen the movie by this point,
we're already telling you don't see the movies. It doesn't matter.
So Hans dies, but does Jan come in and say
no, not at all?
So
someone has to take care of their mom.
Jan's not even gonna go to the funeral.
Someone has to take care of their mom, man. Hans is 108 years old.
Yeah, mom is 158. Hans dies at the age of 98.
No, Hans realized that he didn't even want to deal with Charlie's bullshit in this movie.
Charlie, you're bullshit.
I'm out! So
you're breaking my heart.
Yeah.
It's so bad too, because the scene that they show that part, he's always doing jokes. So oh look, I hurt myself. Oh no, catch up. Blah blah. And then this, he plays it off again, and it's just this is not funny. This is not good for a movie like this. This is supposed to be a Disney movie. Ugh. No, not as.
No, but honestly, at this point, this is when Disney was starting to do its really bad. It was going through a weird phase.
Country Bears phase.
I don't think it was. I think it was before that, but it's around the time when they started releasing all those sequel movies. Yeah.
Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar.
Those were it's around that time.
The ones I didn't mind.
You can see that this is where they're starting to hit that phase. Where
and the freaking black uniforms again. But the freaking black uniforms again. I wish you could think of I don't care if it's a darker color, but just don't use black again for the third movie in a row.
But that's how you know.
In this time, it makes sense because
the Ducks always have to.
They technically have to wear the same color.
Yeah.
Because they go to the same school, but they're using the alternate colors. It's really stupid. It's just color coding that they do to make sure they know who's evil.
Black.
Yeah, I know why, but it's just I wish they would just pick other colors.
It's at least the one thing that they kept that I didn't mind. Any other thoughts?
No, that's all.
I haven't seen it.
I kind of felt bad that only Keenan was the only black kid to come back. The one black kid that was from the first, second movies.
I heard it was a drug-related issue, but that's why he didn't go.
Oh, that stinks.
No, I'm just making it up. You believed it because he's black. You're racist and a bigot.
No, I'm not. Probably because the guy was either doing something else or what have you, but it's just only that one guy came back. What about the guy that's been with them forever? I don't understand.
That might have just been contracts. He might have asked for too much money. They said, no.
We've got another black guy. We don't need you
remember
now.
how many lines you had in the second movie? Here's how many you're gonna have this time. Goodbye.
I just remember Fox Kids promoting the heck out of this.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they probably were we need to recoup our money. Oh man, but I remember seeing it and I was really disappointed as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was expecting something fun, but it just seemed to drag for a long, long while.
Yeah, this movie.
See how sad we sound?
I give it 1 paraplegic daughter out of 5.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
I guess
already in the
we're gonna do
rating.
our ratings. There's nothing else much to say.
Yeah, honestly, I really, oh my god. Yeah, I honestly have nothing left to say on this other than to give the ratings.
2 out of 5 fire ants filled with clothing filled with fire ants. 2. It's a movie, but
I already said
see?
mine. From what I remember watching it way back, not great. So 1 paraplegic daughter out of 5.
Keith,
98 minutes of sleeping out of 104 minutes.
that's a pretty high rating.
No, I was asleep for that long with the movie.
One of the main scenes is them picking up trash. There's just too much trash in this movie. Just 1 out of 5. There's no funny rating to put with it. It was just a bad movie.
He could have got 1 out of 5. The school has liquid nitrogen? Or, for me, I feel like, for me, this is like them trying to skip romance. Skip, sorry.
Like, leave it out.
Yeah, sorry. No. For me, this is a movie where they try to insert a lot of romance into it. So Charlie tries to get a girlfriend. The
Hormones.
Mendoza tries to get a girlfriend.
By looking up skirts.
Things like that. So Charlie tries to get a romance, but Charlie just gets too angsty in this movie.
Like
So
a teenager, oh my
basically, while
god.
they're losing, no one gets girlfriends. Girls only like winners. That's the theme of this movie.
Okay, if you want to take it that way. This movie doesn't even have a theme. It's so
All over the
bland.
place.
It's so all over the place. It doesn't have an actual good focus on the team.
So I guess I'm the only winner in the room.
So, in all honesty,
I gotta go.
it's...
Yeah, but you're in Mighty Ducks
It was
3. I don't know
okay.
how much of a win that is.
As much as okay, so it's a bad Mighty Ducks movie, but it's not a bad movie. It's not something I would say is a bad
Take back.
movie per se. Huh?
I would say it's a bad movie.
It's like a poor version of
It's
like
a
an
poor
American.
man's MVP.
Nala.
It's like a poor like American Pie-esque Disney movie. It's so bad.
Yeah, but it's I think like as a movie, and I'm pretty sure did it go to theaters?
Yeah, it totally did.
Oh god,
It totally did.
At least if it went to straight to DVD, I could like forgive it.
It
No,
would've been VHS.
they knew they could make money.
That
off
as
of
a Mighty Ducks movie, it's like 1 pointless boardroom scene out of 5.
It's a
But
not so
as-
Mighty Duck.
But as an actual movie, it's very middle of the road, so I'm giving it 2.5. I guess that backstory fixes everything. So,
Hey, you wouldn't hate a man that had a paraplegic
So-
daughter, would you?
Exactly.
So in 2014, they said they were in talks of maybe making a D4. What would you tell those people after?
honestly, I'd rather see a reboot of the movie than a continuation of that story.
All the same actors. And
I'd
now
be
they're all
a little bit interested in seeing a continuation
It'll
of
just
that
be their
story.
kids.
Yeah, well, I would.
They mentioned 2 different plot twists that they could go for, and one of them was like they're at a bar, Bombay is dead, and they reminisce.
Oh, wow.
What?
That would Disney would not do that.
Well, I guess after the whole like
Let me let me just say, Bombay's career, just failure after failure. Loses his job as a lawyer.
Actually, that was just a quick scene I forgot to bring up.
And then the
And then gets on in minors because he gets injured. Third,
Okay, stop talking.
His
Stop talking.
his
Stop
Goodwill,
talking.
the Goodwill game, and 10 years later, he's supposed to be
Already
high
brought
up,
up
so he
all
brought
that.
it down. I'm just saying.
So then the
Stop talking.
second option
Garbage.
was they take 2 of the actors, make them older, played by like Jim Belushi and somebody, and they're both coaches, and they meet another time with both their teams going against each
it's
other.
Banks versus Charlie. And they're both.
Those are both horrible
Two
ideas.
different
Yeah,
states.
well, I haven't heard anything since the rumors
I know-
came out,
yeah.
so
I
it's
know.
like obviously they.
To be fair, I heard 8 years ago that they were remaking Police Academy.
Oh, yeah, that's never
Yeah, but there was already like 12 of them.
7, but yeah.
Okay, here's the movie.
I'm really
Here's the movie
sick.
plot for D4. Charlie and Banks, separate states. They each have a Ducks team. They meet at the finals of the USA finals. Ducks versus Ducks.
Anyway.
No, they meet at Goodwill Games.
Okay, we can sit
We
down.
restart the Kuwait games. Team Ducks versus Team Ducks.
The only thing that I thought was pretty cool was when Kenan Thompson was started being on SNL, and they're like ended one of their seasons during Christmas or like after Christmas, and like I remember like they're like, oh, you know, we're at Rockefeller Center and want to wish you all a happy New Year, blah blah, and they start skating, and I see like Kenan Thompson like skating super fast around the rink, and I'm like, wait, why does the guy from Atlanta know how to skate? And I was like, right, he was in D2 and D3, and he like retained all of his skating skills from it. It was crazy.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention is actually a good scene in the movie that I'll give it this one credit is that after Charlie and Fulton have already like quit the club because they're very different, they're sitting at like a stairwell and he's talking about how Fulton's saying it's like
I don't read very good.
no, actually he's saying it's like this is actually a good opportunity, and he's like, but what about hockey? And it's like, maybe I don't want to play hockey for the rest of my life. And it's actually a very good scene, and it's like I think one of the very few good scenes that actually feels well acted, actually heartwarming, and actually does advance the characters as characters, and I'll give it that.
I remember that scene because they were like skipping school or something,
Basically.
and they were going around to like Bare Naked Lady's song "This Is Me" in grade 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's so madness.
So I'll give it that. Overall, you should definitely see the first two because I think I think two is
First two are good.
like Kevin has mentioned, it's
Nostalgia.
D2 is what you want out of a good sequel from a movie. You want it to feel the same like the first movie, but doing either amping up the stakes or doing something different with the material.
So Hobbit would be a bad sequel because the third one's next.
Well, the Hobbits are just a prequel.
Hey, you like that now.
Anyway, but you know what I mean, and I think D2 does that.
Yeah.
And it feels like it, like I said, those first two movies feel like they're from the same universe. This one feels like it's like completely different. Emilio Estevez doesn't want to be in it. You can tell. Hans dies so he can get out of the whole franchise of this boy.
Pretty much.
The mom is just like calling
here.
She probably couldn't. She probably needed work because on the second movie she was back to the diner.
Charlie is just a total douchebag for like 80% of this movie, and
Like most teenagers.
And a lot of these like turnarounds are forced and contrived. But otherwise, yeah, I still think you should watch the first two movies.
Yeah.
The third one,
You can definitely skip the third one.
take it or leave it. It's your choice if you just want to be a completionist.
If I had 4 hands, I'd give that movie.
So
I'm down.
So obviously we've gone on for a while, so we're not going to do Goon. We'll save that for another time. It's going to make for an interesting discussion, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Good was great.
Maybe around playoff season we might do another movie thing.
Totally.
Or maybe
I'd like to
late
do
next
that.
year. We'll see.
I give Goon 5 goons out of 5.
So join us in our next segment where we'll be giving you our info. And that was episode 10 of Geeking Out at the Tower podcast. In today's episode, we discussed the Mighty Ducks Trilogy and did not have time to discuss Goon.
Which was the superior movie.
And we also got sidetracked a whole bunch.
Thanks, Captain.
Which is fun. You're funny there.
Some of us fell asleep.
Yeah.
That's what D3 does to you.
So as you...
I told you, 98 minutes of napping out of 104.
Awesome. We would like to hear from you, so different ways you can reach us is you can send us an email at goattcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at goattcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can leave us a comment, message. We say nice things. We are nice people.
Not really.
I lie.
Some of us
I'm
are.
lying so hard right
We're
now.
horrible people.
We're not the best. Well, we like to hear from you anyway, so leave us some comments, some likes, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/GOATTcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. Just search Geeking Out at the Tower podcast. So you can find us on the website where we have lots of cool things you can check out.
That's not true. I haven't updated anything in a while.
Do your job!
I'll get to it.
Job!
I'll get to it.
So you can find that at goattcast.wordpress.com. I was your host, Andrew, and today I was joined by
Kevin.
The amazing Keith.
Sad.
Wendell.
Sleepy Ali. Thanks for listening and have a good time.
Quack.
Bye, everybody.
Quack.
Quack, 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 quack.